Thank you, Leanna, for that fantastic rendition of the national anthem.
That was unbelievable. Congratulations.
Back at Hollins Stadium, the Auburn Maroons and Jamesville-DeWitt Red Rams coming up on CNY Stream. Cooper Boardman and Karl Moeglein. Karl, it's week 5 of the 2018 season for JD, and we begin by talking a little bit about the Red Rams. We talked with Eric Ormond pregame, the head coach for the Red Rams. The message from him was, hey, go out there and enjoy the game.
Yeah, he talked a lot about how, there's only so many games left, especially for the seniors on this team, and they've got to enjoy their time left on the football team. When you look across this roster, there's a lot of them. Adam Hannes, the quarterback, the leader of this team, 2 touchdowns a week ago, threw for over 200 yards. He is a senior on this team. The seniors just line this roster. Really only juniors and seniors on this roster. And so he emphasized, even when you're 0-4, you have to enjoy every game out there.
So that's JD. How about the guys that they're facing tonight? The Auburn Maroons. It's an Auburn team that enters at 500, 2-2 overall. And when you talk about Auburn, you have to talk about Quashar Bowman.
Yeah, he's really been the guy for this team. Last week, 209 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaged over 6 yards a carry. He really is a dominant guy, and he's a guy, Coach Ormond's really isolated when we talked to him. They noticed him right away.
JD and Auburn coming up on CNY Stream. Cloudless night, blue skies overhead at historic Hollins Stadium. Cooper Boardman and Karl Moeglein. Karl, for JD, a team 0-4, what does it need to do to pick up its first victory of the 2018 season?
This was something that Coach Ormond talks a lot about, but the biggest thing for them, they have to make sure Bowman doesn't go out for the same type of game that he has, because if he does, that could be real danger, real tough game for the Red Rams, because really, if he goes off, I don't think JD has the offense to match them.
JD wins the toss and elects to receive. So we'll get our first look at the Red Rams offense here in week 5 as well.
And this Red Rams team still has its ups and downs, to say the least. So far this season, put up all the way up to 19 points in week 1 versus Susquehanna Valley. However, in week 3, shut out by Whitesboro. They've struggled at times to put up points, and that's been really the biggest issue so far this season for this team.
Auburn dressed in the maroon tops, white pants, and maroon helmets. A on either side of the helmet, white numbering and white trim. JD in the road white jerseys, gray pants, and bright red helmets with red trim for the Red Rams. Week 5 of the Section 3 Class A football season nearly upon us on CNY Stream. Cooper Boardman and Karl Moeglein.
And back judge Mark Hammond.
Maroons set to kick this one off left to right. JD back deep to return. Pat Murad back deep. Waiting the signals from our referees. Head referee in this one, David Walensky. Umpire Mike Compton. Tom Marlin, Jim Lawless. Mark Hammond is the back judge. Maroons set to kick this one off left to right. The approach, it's an onside kick towards the far side. Caroms off a couple of players and then covered up by JD.
And it looked like that ball didn't even make it the requisite 10 yards for an onside kick before it was. And so one play, and it's a crazy one, Auburn looks to start this game off with an onside kick, and it doesn't pay off for the Maroons.
Well, so good field position for this JD Red Rams offense. JD a week ago put up just 13 points, but all 13 points came in the second half. Entering this week, a little bit more offensive momentum for Eric Ormond's squad. Red Rams in the white jerseys, gray pants, moving right to left. Maroons defense led by Elias Agee. Ball on the 49-yard line of Auburn. JD with the football moving right to left. Adam Hannes, the quarterback, in the shotgun, one back set. They motion a man into the backfield. Flags fly. That'll be a false start in all likelihood on the Red Rams. rather offsides on the defense.
And so a couple of early mistakes from the Maroons so far this game. Looks like they're getting a little bit antsy. JD comes into this game 0-4. The Maroons may feel like they have control of this game, but so far, JD hasn't done anything, and they're already on the 45 of Auburn.
So the Red Rams with the football. Ball on the 45 of the Maroons. First down and 5. Honest in the gun. Hands off up the gut. Running forward for a couple of yards.
And when you have those 1st and 5 situations, it helps a team that loves to run the ball like JD. They've got a lot of different options, and because of that, that's going to really help this team.
Brought down by number 15.
Evan Doherty on the carry. Doherty a week ago, 11 carries for 49 yards. You're going to see a lot of the rushing attack from really both of these two teams. Eric Ormond said they want to open it up a little bit more, though. 2nd down and 2 from the 41-yard line. Honest takes the snap, looks out left side, pressured right, dashes forward. He's dropped in the backfield.
And good job by Hanna stepping up enough, so he looked like he did get just about to the line of scrimmage, but not much further. They like to use a couple of those running backs in the blocking set. Good job picking up the blitz at the end of the day. That was more a coverage sack than anything else.
Owen Spearing gets credit for the sack, one of the captains on the Maroons defense. So now the first 3rd down situation of the day for JD. 3rd down and 4 from the 42-yard line of Auburn. Hannes in the shotgun. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Takes the snap, fakes right, dashes forward, over a defender, gets across the 40, now the 39, good enough for the first down.
And a little flip over the defender, having some fun out there. You know, it's what Coach Ormond talked about. Got to enjoy playing football, and he's got to have fun doing there. This is a good first drive for JD, picking up a first down.
Eric Ormond talked a little bit about his offensive philosophy, especially entering this week. We want to get our best guys, our best athletes, the football in space. And, hey, when you can snap it to your 6'3", 215-pound quarterback, that's not too bad. First down and 10 from the 38, takes the snap, lofts a pass down the near sideline. He's got a man tiptoeing the near sideline. Caught by Murad, who snuck out of bounds just inside the 10-yard line.
Has a big play by Murad, a Binghamton lacrosse commit, so you know he's going to be a good athlete, and he was wide open on the near side.
And now 1st down and goal from the 9-yard line. JD taking advantage of a recovered onside kick. And offsides on Auburn. 3rd down conversion, then a deep shot. And now an opportunity knocking on the door. Honest in the gun, Doherty right behind him in the pistol. Barks out the signals, they motion a man back. Goes to the option, hands off, and Doherty is leveled. A couple of Auburn players come in there to knock him down.
That's one of the first real rough plays we've seen from this JD team so far. Whether or not they can punch it in here on this drive is going to be really important to set the tone for the rest of the game.
Luke Lakowski on the tackle. Now 2nd down and goal from the 10-yard line. Honest takes the shotgun snap, runs left, and runs into a wall of Maroon defenders. Owen Spearing led the charge, drops Honest for no gain. And now 3rd down and long coming up for JD.
And this team, this JD team, struggling to find that space they did on that big pass. Really just no time for Honest to get the ball out.
A loss of 4. And now it's 3rd down and goal from the 14-yard line. Let's see what JD opts to do. Eric Ormond said he wanted to throw the ball a little bit more in 2018. Already completed 1 for 20-plus yards. Hannes in the shotgun, a square stance, takes the snap, floats it towards the far side, incomplete. Out of the reach of his intended receiver, Caleb McLeod, covered heavily by the Maroons. And that'll bring up 4th and goal from the 14.
It definitely looked like that ball had just a little too much lift on it. Hannes going to the side. It does look like they're going to keep the offense on the field, though, something we're really common to seeing in this class of football.
From this spot, it would be a 32-yard field goal. So JD will take it. 4th down and 14, going for it. Goal to go situation. Hannes in the gun, ace formation, takes the snap, bootleg out to the right side. He's pressured, spins out of it, and spun down. Hannes couldn't get away from the Auburn pressure. He's dropped for a loss of 7. A turnover on down to the play made by Robert Morris.
A really impressive play by Robert Morris. We've seen him do it on the offensive side for this Maroon time, does it on the defensive side. And not only, it was first and goal, remember, so instead of being all the way backed up, maybe the worst case scenario for the Maroons, even with a stop, they have pretty good starting field position here on their first drive of the game.
Maroons offense will move left to right. First down and 10 from their own 26-yard line. First look at the Maroons offense. Troy Cherney, the quarterback, in the shotgun. Two backs in the backfield, play action. Rolls out to his right, flicks it out near side, catch made. Shaheed Beal spins past one defender, now two, and knocked down at around the 35-yard line, gain of 4 or 5.
Well, and we obviously talked about Bowman in the pregame, but when we talked to Coach Ormond, he made sure we knew this is not just a running football team. Auburn showed that on the first play.
Beal, 3 receptions a week ago in the victory over East Syracuse Manoa. Gain of 8, second down and 2. Ball around the 35-yard line. Cherney takes the snap, hands off up the gut, running right and into a wall of defenders. Is Quashar Bowman, his first carry of the day. And he falls forward just enough to move the chains. It'll be first down and 10 from the 36-yard line. An Auburn player is down on the field. That's Jeff Zink, one of the offensive linemen. The seniors on this team being tended to by the training staff. Clock at 8:17 to go in the opening quarter. No score between the Auburn Maroons and JD Red Rams. Hoover Boardman and Karl Moeglein here on CNY streaming. Karl, it's been a little bit of a different story than what we've seen from either of these two teams. We said the JD offense get a couple of things rolling, just couldn't punch it in inside the 20-yard line. And for Auburn, they come out throwing the football.
Yeah, we expected Bowman, and a little more Bowman. So far, we've seen them complete a pass. However, now, first and 10, we'll see if this Auburn team can keep it rolling. If they score, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the Red Rams here in the first quarter.
First down and 10 from the 36-yard line. Maroons with the football traveling left to right. The clock nearing 8 minutes to go in the opening frame. Troy Cherney, the quarterback, 2 backs in the backfield. He's in the gun. Quashar Bowman right behind him. Barks out the signals, takes a snap, hand off Bowman. Stutters off of one tackler and then dragged to the ground. Had a run towards the near sideline, and well, a slew of Red Rams defenders end up there. Chris Parker ends up dragging him to the turf, no gain.
So I'll get you the tackle.
And an interesting try. They're trying to get him outside there. You know, this is an Auburn team that likes to use Bowman in a number of sets. He doesn't get used just one way. They tried to bounce him outside. We'll see if they try to run him in more of a power set in the future.
Second down and 13 from the 35. Cherney in the gun, takes the snap, play action, rolls out left, pressure, gets off one defender, throws it towards the far sideline, incomplete.
And the impressive thing there for me, quarterback gets hit. He stayed on his feet, kind of knocked the defender back, sure-footed in the pocket.
Kelvin Hunt, the man who got off the edge pretty much on block, just couldn't take him to the turf. But now third down and long for the Maroons. Cherney a week ago attempted just 8 passes, 4 for 8 for 43 yards. They're passing down for Auburn. He's in the shotgun, 1 receiver left, 1 to his right, now goes under center. I formation for Auburn. Play action, they go to the end around. Beal around the far side, gets past 1 defender, slices down the far hash mark, but tripped up as he falls across the 40. Not going to be enough to notch the first down. It'll be 4th down and around 5 coming up for Auburn.
And this JD run defense, a week after they allowed 4 rushing touchdowns, holds Auburn on the first series. That's huge for their confidence.
Shaheed Beal, who just got the carry, now stays on to punt. Patrick Murad back deep to return his heels at the 25-yard line. It's a boot, and it kind of duck foots towards the near sideline, bounces past the 30 into JD territory, and it'll be down at the 26-yard line of JD. Second offensive possession of the day coming up for the Red Rams. The first started at the 45, got all the way inside the 10 before it stalled out, but now an opportunity for Eric Ormond's team to jump out to its first lead of the day.
Yeah, this Red Rams team, We'll see if they can replicate what they did in the first drive, and a lot of that may come through the air. We've seen some of their best athletes are going to be on the outside. We haven't called his name yet a lot, but it's going to be interesting to see if you see more of Caleb McLeod on this series.
Adam Hannes, the quarterback, in the shotgun. Pistol set, Doherty's the back. Takes the snap, fires out far side. Incomplete, right off the mitts of Kelvin Hunt. Was looking for him on a little bubble screen, couldn't get it to him, and now 2nd down and 10.
And that's right in the philosophy of what Coach Ormond said. Get the ball in space to your playmakers. They weren't able to do it on that play.
6:30 to go, opening quarter. No score between Auburn and JD. Red Rams with the football, moving right to left. Hannes, the 6'3" quarterback, takes the shotgun snap, looks out towards the near side, now rolls to the far side, and tosses it incomplete. Once again looking for Hunt, but he was covered heavily by Derek Rowland.
And now, after we saw a big play from JD on their first series, a little bit of a defensive slugfest coming. We're only halfway through this quarter, but really neither team has had a convincing offensive series yet.
In the second half last week, the Red Rams put up 13 points. They trailed 43-0 at half, the final score 43-13. Now JD looking to put up a first half touchdown, but 3rd down and 10 coming up from their own 25. Hannes, the quarterback, motion in the backfield, takes the snap, lofts a pass down the far sideline, catch is made. Caleb McLeod rumbles across the 45-yard line into Auburn territory, and a 1st down and a 3rd down conversion for the Red Rams.
Oh boy, how badly did the Red Rams need that one?
So JD, for its 2nd straight drive, puts it into Auburn territory. Now the Red Rams with the football. Ball on the 42-yard line of Auburn. Hannes, the shotgun snap, hands off up the gut. Doherty runs forward and into a slew of Maroons tacklers. No gain on the play.
And outside of maybe one Hannes run, I'm trying to think of an Auburn running back, not an Auburn running back, pardon me, a JD running back, has a positive run so far this game. They really have found nothing against this front of Auburn.
It's a relatively big Auburn front, led by the captain Luke Lukowski. Plays both defense and offense for Auburn. 5:37 to go in the quarter, no score. Hannes from the shotgun takes the snap, misdirection handoff. Here comes Hunt around the near sideline, runs into 2. Now 3 Auburn tacklers flagged down. We've seen plenty of misdirection from this JD offense thus far. Running men from the slot position right behind. That's the first time we've seen one get the carry. It was Hunt, but his run will be nullified by a hold. Penalty declined, though, by Auburn.
And those types of motion plays, the movement, the different handoffs, play actions, what have you, that confusion is really important to creating space, and that's what JD wants to do. They think they have the better athletes in this game.
3rd down and 11 from the 44-yard line of Auburn. JD with the football, its 2nd offensive possession of the day. Hannes in the shotgun, Doherty the back behind him. Ace formation, takes the snap, back to pass, fires down the near sideline looking for a man, and it's reeled in. Now dropped, but a flag down. He was looking for Murad, who stuck out one hand out there and fell to the ground. The ball skitters to a halt, but it looks as though it'll be some type of pass interference. Plenty of hand fighting between the two. And now a conversation between the referees.
And they really love that play with Murad walking the near sideline and seeing what he can do. He's that speedy body on the outside. Not the biggest guy, but he's able to make it work for Murad. 5'10", 150.
Pass interference, it looks as though the call will be on Auburn. Shaheed Beal was in coverage, and he's still talking with the back judge, Mark Hammond, as Hammond walks towards his position behind the play. Beal right in front of him. Hammond gesturing pretty wildly, but he'll go back into his coverage. Everybody back to their respective positions, and it's 1st down and 10 from the 30-yard line. JD with the football. Hannes in the shotgun, 2 receivers left, 2 to his right. Takes the snap, back to pass, looks right, fires over the middle, catch is made. Dropped immediately by Cherney, and it'll be close to the first down marker. The one thing Hannes has done well is get the ball out quickly. Ryan Vespi makes the catch there on the quick hitter, and that's good enough to move the chains.
It's been an impressive performance so far from Hannes throwing the ball. Not what we expected. 4 for 8 a week ago. But a more impressive performance today. He was 10 for 17, a week ago. He's been even more accurate than that today.
First down and 10 from the 12-yard line. Hannes in the gun, ball in the right hash, fakes the handoff, runs it himself, and he runs into a wall of tacklers. Owen spearing the man who led the charge, a loss of 1 or 2, and now second down and long coming up.
And another second and long situation for JD. Feels like they've been in these again and again. They really want to avoid these long down situations going forward. They want because they simply just can't do it all night.
Under 4 minutes to go, opening quarter. No score between JD and Auburn, but the Red Rams driving. Hannes in the gun, ball in the right hash mark on second down and 10. Takes the snap, rolls out left, pressured from behind, fires near sideline, incomplete. That one off the hands of Ryan Vespi. And now third down and long coming up for JD. Karl, now third down and long inside the 15-yard line for JD. Second time we've seen that today. You'd assume the Red Rams wouldn't kick on fourth down, so you don't need the whole chunk here. Maybe try to get 5 or 6.
Yeah, that'd be smart for them. And that was one of the issues last time. Ended up having the ball in the hands of the quarterback a little too long. Ended up being third and longer, fourth and longer. Really, JD needs to focus on what works on those earlier downs.
Third down and 10 from the 12-yard line. Hannes takes the snap, looks right, fires far sideline, incomplete. Over the head of Kelvin Hunt, who was running a curl route on the outside, just couldn't reel it in, and now fourth down and long.
And they bet the house on that play going for the end zone. And it may end up costing the Red Rams if they can't complete this fourth down play.
Fourth down and 10. From the 12-second time today, we've seen fourth down and long from inside the 15-yard line for the Red Rams. Adam Hannes, the quarterback. Ball on the right hash mark, 2 receivers to the wide side of the field. Takes the snap, rolls out left, pressured, fires to the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Vespi, James Grimes the third breaks it up, and another turnover on downs for JD.
Really good job by Grimes there, kind of shielding the player from the ball, driving him away, but still not holding on to him, not pushing him. Just very solid defense on fourth down from the Maroons.
So now we get our second look of the day at the Auburn Maroons offense. Their drive stalled out after picking up just 1 first down. But Karl, we didn't see too much of Quashar Bowman.
No, we didn't. We certainly haven't seen him have the success we'd expect. Over 6 yards a carry. We haven't even seen 1 of 6 today.
First and 10 from the 12-yard line. Handoff goes up the gut. Cherney keeps it himself after the fake handoff, tripped up after a gain of a few. Second down and manageable coming up for Auburn. There's still plenty of weapons on this Auburn offensive attack beyond Bowman. Cherney, the quarterback, doesn't throw it a lot, but he's got some wheels. Well, on the outside, you look at Shahid Beal, you look at Jameer Grimes, all worthwhile options. Second down and 5 from the 17. Takes the snap, handoff up the middle. Runs into 1, now 2 defenders.
And it does look like they'll get the first down on that play. What they're doing that maybe JD isn't, chunk yardage on each play. 5 yards here, 5 yards there.
James Grimes, the third on the carry. He was the man who just broke up that pass to the end zone attempt for JD. Good enough for the first down, and now first down and 10 from the 17. The one thing this Maroons offensive attack is used to doing is controlling the clock. When you have a run game like that, why not? Cherney in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands off right. Bowman past 1 defender, shimmies past another, bowls over a third, and falls across the 35-yard line near the first down marker.
And it's so easy to see why Coach Boardman called him one of the best backs in the state. So powerful, got great moves, just an all-around talented back.
He averaged nearly 6.9 yards per carry last week in the victory over East Syracuse Manoa. I formation for Auburn. Boeglein is the back, handoff up the middle. Grimes running forward into a couple of defenders. Maybe half a yard on the carry, and now third down and short on the way.
You have to think Boeglein gets the ball. Maybe not even just one of the best players on this team, one of the better players in this section. If you don't run the ball with him on third and the short, you got to wonder what he's doing in the backfield.
He had 3 touchdowns, 31 attempts on the ground last week against East Syracuse Manoa. And he lines up right behind his quarterback, Troy Cherney. Third down and 1 from the 35. Takes the snap, handoff, Boeglein, off tackle left. Gets around the bend on the far sideline into territory of JD. Knocked out of bounds by Ryan Vespi, but not before he picks up a first down and much more.
And that is what we talked about. With a running back like him, the biggest thing is if you give him enough carries, at some point he's going to break out, and that's what we saw on that play. As we wind down in this, we're getting near the end of this first quarter, neither team has scored. He could end up being the game breaker in this game.
So ball for the first time today in JD territory. Auburn in possession, moving left to right. On the 42-yard line of the Red Rams, I set, ball on the left hash mark, 1st and 10. Toss right, Boeglein shimmies past one defender, slices forward across the 40-yard line, and dragged to the ground by Vespi.
7 yards, brought down by number 7, Ryan Vespi, and number 50.
Second down and 10. Clock ticks under a minute to go in the first quarter.
No, 20, just like,
And on this second drive for Auburn, it's been a steady diet of Quashar Boeglein.
he's their lefty end.
Cherney under center, I formation. Boeglein in the backfield, they go option. Cherney on the keeper, running down the near hash mark. And he's knocked down after a gain of maybe half a yard.
Yeah, but it may be a third down, but counted as 2 opportunities. If they come up short here, I fully expect the Maroons to keep going and go for it on 4th.
JD's offense has moved the football well today, just hasn't been able to punch it in. Now third down and 2 from the Red Rams' 37-yard line. And instead of bringing the offense out there, we'll let the clock tick down to end this opening quarter. 12 minutes in the books at historic Hollins Stadium. No score between Auburn and JD. We'll pause for a short break. You're listening to JD Red Rams football right here on CNY Stream.
I figure Haas is going to be easier, and the game is decent enough. Like, I don't care. I know you don't. Much better game than expected. This is not awful football. I don't know. You guys said it really good. Yeah, running teams do that. Knock on wood. Running teams love them. Half-hour quarter.
He might be 52. Their
Any of
jerseys get stretched up.
52 is Chris Parker.
All right.
Bring it back. Back at Hollins Stadium, Cooper Boardman and Karl Moeglein here with you on CNY Stream. No score between the Auburn Maroons and JD Red Rams, but the Maroons with the football. Moving right to left to open up this second quarter. Third down and 3 from the 35. Hardy takes the snap, hands off, Boeglein running right, dragged to the ground, and falls towards the 35-yard line. Certainly within spitting distance of the first down marker, but he did not get there, and that'll bring up 4th down and short.
And And we talked about this a little bit before the break. One of the situations where Auburn's going to have to go for it seems like they're in JD territory, and those opportunities don't come up that often.
4th down and 3 from the 35. The Maroons keep the offense on the field. Quarterback Troy Cherney under center, eye set. Tosses out left. Boardman gets around the near side, slithers past a couple of defenders, and falls towards the marker.
It just feels so effortless when he gets the ball, especially outside. He's just the best athlete on the field, and it really does show.
Good enough to move the chains. And Auburn's 4th down going for it ends up paying off for the Maroons. Clock nearing 11 minutes to go in the first half. No score between Auburn and Jamesville-DeWitt. Cherney under center. Boardman in the backfield, eye set, takes the snap, handoff up the middle. Griffin Schoenfelder on his first carry of the day, plows forward for a gain of about a yard.
Brought down by number 64.
There are plenty of offensive players not named Quashar Boardman on this Auburn offense. Already mentioned Shahid Beal, the carries and the targets that he's gotten on the day. Elias Agee also we'll likely see on offense as well.
Do they have other weapons? Yes. But should they go to him? I'm not sure. Boardman certainly seems like the best player out there so far.
2nd down and 7 from the 28-yard line. Split backfield takes the snap. Cherney rolling to his right, fires out far side, complete. He finds Connor Moeglein, who turns upfield and is dragged out of the ground around the 10-yard line. That's a first down for Auburn, and the Maroons within the 15-yard line. First time today, they make it to the red zone.
Moeglein, a sophomore, but certainly doesn't look like hit one. A big-bodied tight end made that play. An important first down. Really the best drive we've seen from Auburn so far today.
First down and 10 from the 14-yard line. Cherney takes the snap, play action, fires out near side, caught by Beal, who shimmies past one defender, turns, and then is knocked to the ground after a gain of 1.
A lot of fanfare for that gain of 1, a spin move, a little bit of excitement from the crowd, kind of like when you when a basketball player crosses someone over then misses the shot per se. But a fun 1-yard gain.
Second reception of the day for Beal, and 2nd down and 10. Ball on the 14-yard line of JD. Troy Cherney, the quarterback. He's in the shotgun. Man off his left hip. That's Schoenfelder. Takes the snap, hands off Boardman. Off tackle right. Slides through 1 to the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Auburn. The Maroons strike first on a 14-yard carry for Quashar Boardman. And it's 6-0 Auburn in the second quarter.
Boardman, you knew he was going to break at some point. That time up the middle. He'd already shown it on the outside. Nobody got a real good hand on him. Great blocking from the line, but at the end of the day, the credit has to go to Boardman. Such an explosive runner.
Keep the offense out there. Auburn goes for 2.
That's something we expect to see from both these teams. No real kicking option. Likely both to go for 2 most of the game.
Cherney under center. Ball on the 2-yard line, handoff Schoenfelder, past one defender and then knocked down short of the goal line. So the 2-point attempt is no good, and it's 6-0 Auburn with 9:07 to play in the first half.
I understand the play call running the ball, but I don't understand why it's not going back to Boardman. He just scores the touchdown for you. Seems a little odd not to go back to him.
Auburn last week put up 20 points in a win over East Syracuse Manoa. JD got down early in that one and just kind of never found the response. We talked with head coach Eric Ormond. He said the key was going to be containing the big man for the Auburn Maroons, and here thus far they haven't been able to do that.
Well, I think if you ask Coach Ormond, though, if you're down 7-0, you've only allowed the 1 touchdown, 9 minutes left in the second quarter, and you have the ball, I think he'd be pretty happy. The biggest thing for JD is just going to be the response. They're not out of this game yet, but they have to do their best to put together a drive now.
Vespi and Murad back deep to return for JD.
Back deep to return.
Shahid Beal set to kick this one off right to left. He steps up, Right down the center of the field this time. Murad drifts over toward the near sideline, and it goes out of bounds. So it'll be good field position to start things off for JD on its third offensive possession of the day. Karl, if you're Eric Ormond, 2 drives that have stalled out inside the 20-yard line, what do you got to do to punch it in?
The biggest thing we've seen so far is that the passing game has been what's worked for them. They haven't had those big running plays yet, but they've gotten some openings. They've got some great athletes on the outside, and I think they need to utilize them going forward.
The kick goes out of bounds, so it'll be spotted at the 35-yard line of JD. The Red Rams have the football moving left to right. A 6-0 Auburn lead. Cooper Boardman, Karl Moeglein with you on CNY Stream. Adam Hodges, the quarterback, in the gun. 2 to his right, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, goes off tackle, powers his way across the 40-yard line out towards the 45. A gain of 7 on the quarterback keeper, and it'll be 2nd down and 3 upcoming for JD.
Hodges really has been the best quarterback, or the best runner we've seen on this JD team so far this game. He continues it on that play.
6'3", 215 pounds. When you can throw a body around like that, you can have some success running the football. Clock under 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. JD opens up its third offensive possession of the day with Hodges in the gun, pistol set. Trips right, 1 left, takes the snap back to pass. Pressured from behind, fires over the middle, incomplete. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Vespi.
Going back to talking about how big Hodges is, there is one offensive line bigger than him. There's a couple that are tied with him, and then he would be bigger than some of the offensive linemen on this JD team.
Seen him air the football out a little bit. 17 pass attempts last week, 10 of them complete. Today, up already over 5 completions. But now 3rd down and 4. JD on its own 42-yard line, moving left to right. Hodges in the gun, barks out the signals. Auburn shows pressure, takes the snap back to pass, looks far side, fires, incomplete. Intended for Murad, who was streaking down the center of the field to throw behind him to the turf harmlessly. And now it's decision time for Eric Ormond on 4th down and 4 from his own 42-yard line.
And the number of substitutions likely indicates the punting unit going to come out, and that does look like what we're getting.
Juan Smith on to boot this one deep for JD. Shahid Beal heels inside his own 35-yard line. Smith takes the snap, punts it high in the air. Beal will let it bounce at around the 35-yard line, trickles towards the 30. And down at the 32-yard line of Auburn. Now the Maroons an opportunity to double their advantage.
The biggest thing for the Maroons here, you can kill a lot of clock. 8 minutes left on that. If you can put together a 4-5 minute drive, give JD very little time to work with in the rest of the quarter, and maybe take a 2-score lead to the locker room on senior night, that's a lot of momentum going into the second half.
The Maroons open the scoring a 14-yard touchdown plunge from Quashar Bowman. Now Auburn has the football moving right to left on their own 32-yard line. Sherney in the shotgun, 2-back set, takes the snap, hands off Bowman. Running towards the near sideline and knocked out of bounds by a JD tackler, Kelvin Hunn, the man who met him. A gain of 3, and now 2nd down and 7 on the way.
Bowman continuing to be work, continuing to get those carries. A little disappointing, though, if he goes out of bounds. Can't kill the clock quite as fast, but still an important 1st down run, as with this team that likes to run the ball so much, getting short chunks is so important.
2nd down and 6 from the 37-yard line. Sherney in the shotgun, 1 receiver right, 1 left, takes the snap, fires out far side. Caught Beal, past 1 defender, jumps towards the far sideline, 1st down and more. Finally dropped around the 45-yard line of Auburn, but a big gain and a big 1st down for Auburn.
Auburn took advantage there of the loose coverage after the receivers switched sides of the field. A lot of room, just a quick screenplay, and the Maroons took advantage.
Shahid Beal's gotten the ball in space a couple of times tonight. Both times he's made men miss. He's been really elusive on the outside. They like to get him the ball quickly. Clock under 8 minutes to go. Second quarter, 6-0 Auburn. Maroons with the football. Sherney under center, I formation, toss out right. Bowman tripped up in the backfield. Evan Doherty jumped out, makes the tackle. A loss of a few, and second down and long.
And Bowen, the interesting thing with him, he's less of a power back and definitely more of an athletic speed back. He has some good moves, but he's not impossible to bring down. If JD can get those guys, get them to the runner, they have a chance to bring him down. The biggest thing is just making sure he doesn't get open space, because if he has that, he's gone.
Second and 12 from the 44-yard line. Charney in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands off Bowen, running off tackle left, whirls around one defender towards the near sideline, across the 48-yard line, and knocked out of bounds close to the 50.
It certainly feels like if you run Bowen outside, you're getting a minimum of 5 yards, make it 7 or 8 sometimes.
And he averaged nearly 6.9 yards per carry last week as well.
He's certainly one of the best running backs in this section. That's a big reason why. Part of it's just he's going to be quicker getting to the outside. Even if you cut down the angle, he's going to pick up a few.
He's been a nice runner today for Auburn. 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. 6-0 lead for the Maroons, and Auburn driving for its second straight drive. I formation once again, Bowen the back. Play action, Cherney rolling to his right, fires out far side, complete. He's got Schoenfelder, who turns upfield, knocked out of bounds, but not before the Maroons pick up another first down.
Cherney running to the right side. He's a lefty, has to throw that ball, a tough throw, put it right where it needed to be.
It's not the first time we've seen him roll out to his right as well, but he's made the throws he's need to make here tonight. Now first down and 10 from the 38-yard line. Ball in JD territory for the second straight drive. Maroons moving right to left, and timeout on the field. Clock frozen at 6:54. The back judge, Mark Hammond, runs up to talk with David Walensky. Two conferring on the Block A logo at Hollins Stadium. Night for football that has really turned into a perfect one. No clouds overhead, a dark blue sky, the lights on yet to take full effect. And right now those lights shining down on a 6-0 Auburn advantage.
And Auburn may be ahead. This has really been a tight football game so far. Auburn just put it together one more complete drive. JD twice in the red zone, haven't been able to succeed.
Little bit of a clock issue. Clock reads 6:54. The referee, David Walensky, wants it to say 6:44. That's all rectified, and now Auburn with the football. First down and 10 from the JD 38-yard line. I formation once again. Maroons haven't really been too hard to figure out. Hands off tackle, try to get their men in space, and Bowen has made JD pay so far. Cherney takes the snap from under center, toss out left. Bowen towards the near sideline, across the 40, stays in bounds, and then finally takes himself out of bounds after a gain of a few.
He ran close to the line of scrimmage until he was maybe 5-10 yards from the sidelines, and he still picked up 5 yards just going downfield. So explosive with that first move, and it's really hard to bring him down without him getting a couple extra yards.
Well, what happens is you get Bowen out in space and you force the corners and the safeties, that defensive secondary that's maybe not as big, to try to take him down. It's certainly a tough ask for JD. Cherney in the shotgun now. Takes the snap, back to pass. He's got time. Fires down the near sideline. He's got him in. Incomplete. Was looking for Shahid Beal, who was wide open. The ball clanks off of his white mitts and drops to the ground.
A great route there. He had tons of room in the end zone. And that openness is really a product of Bowen out of the backfield. You bring those corners up, you make them feel like they have to step up, and then you slip the pass play in there. And a guy like Beal, who's such a good athlete, can streak down the field, get very open. That's what happened there.
Third down and 6 from the 35-yard line of JD. Back to the eye this time. Cherney tosses out right. Bowen shimmies past one tackler, stays on his feet, barrels over another across the 30-yard line, and drags a couple of Red Rams, including Ryan Vespi, across the first down marker.
First and 10 Maroons.
That was maybe one of the most impressive runs we've seen from him so far this game. Good job breaking through a couple tackles in the middle, forcing the first down and continuing to wind this clock.
Correction, did not pick up the first down. Fourth and short.
And he did not, in fact, get there. So now it's fourth down and 1. Auburn keeps the offense on the field. I set Cherney under center. Barks out the signals. They'll sneak it. He dashes forward, pushing the pile.
Cherney on the quarterback.
The first down marker is at the 29-yard line of JD.
And the coach, Eric Ormond from JD, is all the way out on the field yelling at the refs even before that play was going. Looked like he was on the field during the play even.
Well, head ref David Walensky puts his right hand in the air, signals first down, and the Maroons pick up the yard they needed to get.
And Eric Ormond just wants an explanation.
First down and 10 from the 27-yard line. Ormond still giving David Walensky an earful on that far side, gesturing wildly. But it's first and 10 from the 27. Cherney the shotgun snap, handoff Bowman, runs left, dashes forward, breaks one tackle. Down the near sideline, the 15, cuts back to the end zone, and knocked down inside the 5-yard line. Ryan Vespi, the man who tracked him down.
For a long gain.
And Coach Ormond can't be happy. He thought there was an injustice, and then the Rams have to pay for it. A big run from Bowman brings them right on the edge of the goal line.
First down and goal, ball on the 2-yard line of JD. Maroons knocking on the door for the second straight offensive possession.
2-yard line. First and goal for the Maroons.
Cherney under center, I formation. Bowman the back, hands on his knees. Takes the snap, handoff up the gut. Fullback run to James Grimes the third. He stood up on the doorstep. And second down and goal on the 2-yard line. Now coming up for the Maroons.
And while Auburn has had some success in the middle, this power set's certainly not their best plays, and it does create some struggles down in these goal line type sets.
Ball the 2. Second down and goal. Let's see if they look for Quashar Bowman. Clock under 4.5 to go. Cherney in the gun. Takes the snap, handoff Bowman running right, and he's dragged down short of the goal line. And it was Doherty who jumped off the edge, rips Bowman to the turf. And now third down and goal.
An impressive job there by Doherty, just latching on, not letting him get into the end zone. Such a crucial drive here for Auburn as we are really getting towards crunch time here in quarter 2.
Third down and goal from the 2-yard line. Auburn with a 6-0 lead, trying to extend their lead to 2 possessions. Cherney under center, I formation once again. Takes the snap, play action, pressure, throws to the end zone. Caught, touchdown, Auburn! Connor Mahunick wide open, makes the grab in the corner of the end zone. And the Maroons double their lead. It's 12-0 with 3:44 to go in the second quarter.
And that play action set a very risky play call from the Maroons, but a successful one there, wide open in the corner of the end zone.
They'll keep the offense out for the 2-point opportunity. Cherney in the shotgun, ball on the 2-yard line, takes the snap, back to pass, pressure, fires to the end zone, picked out of the air, caught by Beal. The 2-point conversion is good. Beal went up over defender, plucks it out of his grasp, and it's 14-0 in favor of Auburn. Second straight scoring drive for the Maroons. 3:44 to go in the first half, and it's 14-0 Auburn here on CNY Stream.
This Auburn offense really starting to click, starting to put up some points on the board, and now it's up to the Red Rams to respond.
If you're in that JD huddle on the far side and Eric Ormond talking to his troops right now, what do you say to your team trailing 14-0?
They've been to the red zone 2 times. Now they just have to execute. They know they can pick up yards on this team. Now they just need to prove it, take the ball to the end zone. And really, he's just going to be challenging these seniors, these upperclassmen, to step up and stay in this football game, keep competing.
Vespi and Patrick Murad back deep to return for the Red Rams. Kick about to go from right to left. Beal steps up and delivers the kick. It's a short one, bounces at the 40, loose ball, and now trickles down the near sideline. Still a loose ball, goes out of bounds. JD will retain possession on a ball that pinballed off of a number of JD and Auburn players, finally out of bounds, and the Maroons, or rather the Red Rams, will have good field position to start off their fifth possession of the day.
Somewhere between a onside kick, a squib, and a regular one. Takes a friendly bounce for Maroons, but they can't jump on it. Important for the Red Rams to get good field position, but maybe more importantly, only 3:37 left in this quarter. But if there's one team that we know can stretch the field in this game, it's the Red Rams.
At the end of all of that, the Red Rams will have the football on their own 20-yard line. First down and 10, the 21 to be exact. Red Rams moving left to right. And the white road jerseys, gray pants, red trim, and the bright red helmets. The quarterback, Adam Hannes, in the shotgun. Back off of his right hip, he takes the snap, rolls to his right, now stops. Here's a throwback, intercepted, nope, instead dropped. Was looking for the throwback to one of his running backs. I believe intended for Kelvin Hahn. Threw it right into the hands of an Auburn defender. James Grimes ended up dropping it, just an incompletion, now second down and 10.
So well covered by the Maroons there that by the time Hannes turned around and figured out what was going on, the ball was already out of his hand.
3:28 remaining in the first half. 14-0 in favor of Auburn over JD at Holland Stadium. Second down and 10. Hannes takes the shotgun snap, handoff up the middle. Doherty. Nope, Hannes keeps it down the far side. Carries one defender, still on his feet at the 45 and knocked down close to Auburn territory. Rips off a run of about 26 yards and a first down for the JD Red Rams. Shahid Beal on the tackle for Auburn.
Hannes is going to be the key, whether it's in the air or on the ground, if the Red Rams finally want to punch this one in.
3:13 to go in the first half. JD trying to pick up a touchdown to make this a little bit more of a manageable deficit at the half. Hannes in the gun, two receivers right, takes the snap back to throw. Lofts a pass down the far sideline. It is reeled in. Caught and knocked out of bounds. Patrick Murad on the catch. That's good enough for another first down and back-to-back plays with 20-plus yards gained for the Red Rams.
Murad's role on this offense is simple. Run fast, run for a while, and hopefully the ball will get to you. But it's worked so far, 2 big receptions.
Stretched out all 5'10" of them to bring that one in. And now first down and 10. Ball in Auburn territory on the 26-yard line. Hannes takes the snap on the left hash mark. Hands off up the gut. Doherty up the middle and wrestled to the ground by a slew of Maroons tacklers. Jeff Zink leads the charge.
Well, the Red Rams have their full playbook with 3 minutes left. But they may not even want to use that full playbook. Those last-ditch desperation throws might be their best bet offensively.
14-0 in favor of Auburn over JD. 2:35 to go in the second quarter. Red Rams trying to pick up its first scoring opportunity of the day. And timeout on the field. Timeout Auburn. First either team's used here today. So Karl, 2:27 to go in the first half. A 2-possession lead for the Auburn Maroons. But JD offense showing a little bit of life here on their 5th offensive possession of the day.
JD has had a lot of very good opportunities. 1 punt in this half so far, but a couple turnovers on downs. And the fact is, if they aren't successful in this drive, it's probably going to be turnover on downs number 3. But importantly for the Red Rams, if they score on this possession, they get the ball back to start. Because if you remember correctly, they do kick off, but when this Auburn team is not put together, it's exactly. Momentum into the locker room is so important. Thinking back to that kind of failed Auburn onside kick to begin this half, JD has hung in this game probably better than anyone expected, coming in at 0-4. A complete performance from there. They just haven't punched in the ball.
Ball on the 25-yard line of Auburn. JD has the football moving left to right. Second down and 9. Hannes in the gun. Hard count. Takes the snap, back to pass. He's got time. Fires near side, incomplete. Looking for Kelvin Hahn on the curl route to the outside, but the ball skitters to a halt harmlessly. And it's third down and 9 now for JD. Again, the Red Rams don't kick field goals, especially from this distance. So you don't need all 9 yards on third down. You try to get 4 or 5. We've seen that once already today.
Do they need to get 4 or 5? Yes. Should they probably just shoot for 2 times? Guy like Pat Murad on the outside, that may be the better option.
Third down and 9 from the 25. Hannes in the gun. Takes the snap, keeps it himself, running right, and dropped after a gain of 5.
This JD team, they do have multiple weapons. They need to remember that. Caleb McLeod has shown it so far, as has Murad. There's a number of options, and they need to be able to use all of them here on 4th down, the full route tree.
4th down, the ball near the 20. Clock under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. 14-0 lead for Auburn over JD, and probably the biggest play of the day coming up. JD trying to keep this offensive drive alive. Punch it in, cut the deficit in half at the half. And because of its importance, Eric Ormond wants a timeout. Timeout JD, 1:40 to go in this first half. And Karl, now, if you're JD and you're Eric Ormond in this huddle on the far side, what are you telling your team to go with offensively on 4th down and 5?
There's a couple of good options, but I think the most important thing is going to one of your seniors, whether that's Caleb McLeod, whether that's Pat Murad. You have to go from your senior quarterback to your senior. But more importantly, if Adam Hannes thinks he has a chance to pick it up with his legs, he has to go for it. He has the wheels. He has the ability to break tackles. You know, it's so impressive when you have a quarterback who has those types of wheels. So if he thinks he has the chance to run for it, he has to do what he thinks is best for this JD team.
It was his 26-yard run that helped this JD offense drive all the way into Auburn territory. But now it's 4th down and 5 from the 22-yard line. Adam Hannes, the quarterback, in the shotgun. One back set, that's Doherty in the pistol. 2 right, 2 left. Barks out the signals. Motion into the backfield. Now stops, and they'll bring Vespi back slot right. Now Vespi goes back in motion. On in the back, and another timeout. JD went to the hard count, needing 5 yards, tried to get Auburn to jump off sides, but the Maroons don't bite, and the second timeout of the day used by JD.
And with that motion, trying to create some confusion, trying to get a certain look, and it definitely didn't get that.
So the ball's still 4th down and 5 from the 22-yard line. They motion Kelvin Hunt from the slot position into the backfield. They motioned him back to the slot, then came back behind once again. And at the end of it all, the second timeout used. The Red Rams 1 timeout remaining. The Maroons have 2. Right now, the focus on this 4th down and 5 play. The ball still on the 22-yard line of Auburn. The student section, clad in all white, jumping up and down to our immediate left. Watching this 4th down and 5. Quarterback in the backfield, takes the snap, floats it out far side, looking for a man. It is incomplete. Looking for Murad on the throw to the far side, and he nearly pulled it in over a defender. Instead, incomplete. The 4th down conversion unsuccessful, and Auburn takes over on downs.
3rd turnover on downs by this Maroon football. Bend but don't break football for Auburn so far today, and that may be the most crucial of all 3 stops.
1:34 to go, first half, and now an opportunity for Auburn. It has the ball on its own 22-yard line, and with still 2 timeouts remaining, let's see if they try to force the envelope a little bit.
The biggest thing for them, if they are going to have runs, hopefully push them outside so you don't kill all the clock on a short run.
First down and 10 from the 22. Journey in the gun, loses the football, ball's on the turf, and JD's got it. Kelvin Hunt off the edge, jumps on top of it, and new life once again for the Red Rams.
The first turnover of the day, and JD could not have needed it anymore. Just outside the 10-yard line, a chance to score, and the momentum shifts one way and right back the other in no time.
So JD can't convert on the 4th down. They give the ball to Auburn, and the Maroons cough it up right back. Troy Cherney couldn't handle the snap. JD ends up with it. Kelvin Hunt on the recovery. And now first down and 10 from the 12-yard line of Auburn. JD with the football, moving left to right. Timeout on the field. Auburn's going to use its second timeout of the half. So now, Karl, take me inside the huddle once again for JD. It's first down and 10 from the 12-yard line. One timeout remaining and still plenty of opportunity to try to punch it in.
You know, they've tried this running set inside the 10-yard line. But spoiler alert, if you haven't watched up to now, it hasn't worked. There's a 0 on that board for a reason. It's because their red zone offense has struggled. What does that mean? That means that they need to go to who their playmakers are, and the only way to create space in the red zone is to create different motions and to create different sets where you can create a mismatch. Without creating that mismatch, I think they're going to struggle again. So they have to do something to give Auburn something they haven't seen yet.
No scoring in the first quarter. In the second, Auburn exploding for a pair of touchdowns, including a 14-yard run from Quashar Bowman. But JD knocking on the door. Ball on the 12-yard line, first down and 10. Honest takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Doherty, runs off tackle right, past one defender, carries the pile towards the 5, and finally dropped after a gain of 7.
And that might be the solution for JD. Honest really has been brought down for a negative gain. If you have 4 chances to run with him, you might need to keep pushing him.
69 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Honest takes the snap, keeps it himself, runs right, pushes the pile towards the goal line, and knocked down at the 2.
Yeah, and if that's not a first down, it's about as close as you can get.
The marker's inside the 5. Timeout on the field. JD wants to talk things over. So the Red Rams use their final timeout of the half. 57.7 seconds to go in this first half. And Jamesville-DeWitt trying to score for the first time today. 14-0 Auburn lead. Boardman, Karl Moeglein with you on CNY Stream. Karl, we've seen the formula be pretty simple over the last couple of drives. Put the ball in the hands of your quarterback, Adam Honest, and let him make a play. The 6'3", 215-pound signal caller has done just that.
The Red Rams need nothing else more right now than to get the ball in the end zone. The fact is, yards are great, but they certainly don't count for anything more than a little bit of stuff on the box score. They need to be able to punch this ball in if they want to feel good going into half.
So it's third down and 2. The ball's inside the 5-yard line of Auburn, but JD can still technically pick up a first down. Honest in the shotgun, Doherty immediately behind him. Takes the snap, looks towards the far side, runs forward, flicks it to the end zone, intercepted! That's Beal! He picks it off in the back of the end zone, and JD foiled inside the 20 once again.
Honest really needed to not try to force that, but that's what happens when you're down, and you're trying to get back close to the half, and you want to make a play. One turnover one way, that's what gave JD opportunity, but Auburn uses the turnover to silence the Red Rams.
Shaheed Beal on the interception. He's knocked down in the end zone, so it'll be a touchback.
Intercepted by number 24, Shaheed Beal.
Once again, the struggles continue for JD inside the 20-yard line. The Maroons have the football on the 20-yard line. Looks as though they're just going to knee this thing out.
And you may not see that with every team with a minute left, but with a team that is so run-based, makes a lot of sense, especially after a big turnover.
Troy Cherney under center. He takes the snap, drops to one knee. Auburn will need to take one more knee to close out the half. The clock under 45 seconds to go.
Looks like the Maroons are going to run the clock out. Yeah.
14-0 Auburn. It's been a really competitive first half of football.
And even closer than the score suggests, really, 14-0. But JD's been right there with the Maroons.
Cherney goes back under center, takes the snap to a knee, and that'll do it for the first half. 24 minutes in the books at Holland Stadium, and it's 14-0 Auburn on senior night. it leads over JD. Karl, the first half, that in the first quarter we didn't see much scoring, and then Auburn began to kind of dominate possession in terms of being able to control the run game. That's where we started to see some offensive success for the Maroons.
Yeah, the Maroons, so overall, showing why they came into this as maybe the favorite, so especially the home favorite, 2-2, finally scoring. But the biggest story of this game has been execution. They've found the end zone, and the Red Rams haven't, even taking it well within the 10-yard line.
We talked about Boardman and what he did last week, averaging nearly 6.9 yards per carry for Auburn last week in the victory over East Syracuse Manoa. This week we've seen him, but we haven't seen too much of him, at least until he put that one in for the 14-yard plunge.
Bowman has been successful, but you would think Auburn could even use him almost more, which is something we didn't expect to see. Maybe they're trying to misdirect here and there, trying to give them different looks. But really, the question for Auburn has really been, if Bowman getting the ball, if yes, success. If no, not so much. He's been the key.
We'll pause for a break at Holland Stadium, but don't go anywhere. Second half coming up, the lead for Auburn over Jamesville-DeWitt, 14-0. You're listening to Jamesville-DeWitt Red Rams football right here on CNY Stream.
It's decent football.
That was actually really decent
For
football.
a 14-0 game, JD, they're right in it. Sure.
For a general, reading the text about what's happening with JD. No, what's going on? Shoot you?
Yeah, for some reason their mic's not working. But you guys sound really good.
Thank you. Terrible. For a general lack of preparation in any capacity, I will take it.
Karl, the expert of bullshit.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
You know where it is?
Now we welcome the performance
Look for the
by the
shot.
Auburn High School Marching Band.
What? I'm not worried about it. I mean, it's kind of one way or another. It doesn't matter. It's either, the only reason I would say keep it full is just because they're going to want to post it full anyway, and otherwise you have to combine them. So slightly simpler to not by much, but
You guys think? Your thoughts and feelings?
it should be a closer ball game. It's a brutal throw.
Oh, in the end zone?
Yeah,
The pick?
he just didn't need to make it. He needed to go down. He was close to the line.
Was that third?
That was third. He had another shot. He wasted the drive. I get it on fourth, but he needed to hold on to that ball.
Probably could have made it himself, honestly.
You just can't win the drive like that. I think both coaches are going to the locker not happy, though. And that's always interesting.
What do you think Auburn left to be desired?
I think that Auburn's going to say the miscues. Especially, I think the miscue on the turnover, I think they just think generally sloppiness, and they're giving up a lot of yards.
Out that window right there. Like in those.
What are those batons?
Yeah, so I'm not really in charge, but
You see what I'm talking about?
What?
What are these like rifle-shaped batons?
So what are the best spots for food around here?
after the game, a place called Parker's.
Parker's?
Yeah, good burgers, wings, stuff like that. Right on Genesee Street. Meat trash. Parker's Grill and Tap House. It's good.
Thank you.
I might be there later.
that's what I was saying. If you're gonna get rid of it, at least make sure it's going nowhere near anything.
Because you got to think, you stop the clock and get one more running play in.
And even then, yeah, you go down and you toss it. You're close enough to the line.
Well, yeah, you can't. You got to stop the clock somehow. You can't turn it over. So what was it? Less than a minute left, no timeouts.
Yeah, but I mean, they could
They
have.
had like 50
Yeah,
seconds.
they probably could have just done whatever, but.
Anything but that.
Want me to do it? No, it's okay.
Place looks pretty good that he
You see,
So is there anything different when you're watching the production of a high school football game that's any
Do
different?
that walkout song.
West Coast to East Coast?
Walkout.
Halftime?
what do you mean?
or
I
anything?
mean, like, I think every high school is just so different that it's not a huge difference west to east.
Right.
You know?
No, I'm just curious.
It's like
The biggest
um,
difference would be north to south, I think.
I mean, like, but I also think it's just like there's the randomest spots where high school football matter, and then some places it just doesn't, and like
Right.
maybe it's slightly bigger
Is
in
it
the
big by
south.
you or no?
Yeah, like it's like I mean, my high school gets like, you know, I'm
No
sure,
more than any other high school?
No, but like it's like it's big. I mean, like it's you know, I'm sure well over a couple thousand people are there. I mean, like. I'm sure it's not small. I mean, like it's you know, most of my high school is there when we go. Like, you fill a big grandstand. Like, yeah, it's a major city thing.
Right.
It's just, I think it's also big city to small city is a bigger difference too. Like this high school is pretty similar to my home, so.
Excuse me?
Sure.
Thank you.
Pretty lively. He's definitely more active than my high school.
They got a good menu. Affordable.
Trying to get out of here when this game ends. I'm not trying to stick around and eat. This kid wears what I wear.
They have a couple big guys on their team.
Well, I still think this is the craziest thing I've seen about this team. Is that the quarterback,
Yeah, Hannes.
215. They got him. Brodsky's got a broken collarbone.
Is
They got
that,
a
is that their
220.
usual starter?
This I don't know. He just dealt with the collarbone. Yeah, he started last year, so yes, he was supposed to.
Gotcha.
Lots of
You
last
got
year, I think
220, you got 219, then you got 215. He's the third biggest kid on the team. And he's the quarterback.
Yeah, big
I mean,
boy.
like he's kind of big.
Is he
He's
playing on the
215.
defensive side or no?
I've not seen him, no. Although almost no high school, if they have the ability, will start their quarterback. That's like my high school. Like one of our best athletes was our quarterback. If he was playing, but he would start at safety. They just would never start him at safety. He was playing quarterback that day.
We got
Skinny
a,
Alice is running back because their safety
we got
as
a
well.
recommendation for it.
Ooh,
Parker's. Affordable. For the college student.
That's the most important thing. We had the full homecoming halftime. Full homecoming halftime.
Oh, it's going to be a long one.
11 minutes.
They do this flag waving stuff by you? No? They don't really. They do by me.
It's so by high school. Like
I
there
know,
are
it's
there are
just-
high schools that do and don't.
Just find it interesting. So the girl who sang the national anthem is now the conductor. Versatile.
They went from Pink Floyd to Les Mis.
Yankees are
up.
Does it matter?
Gary Sanchez just went ER. That does matter.
Did they clinch last night, or did they not?
Now
play
they're
last
half game. They have to win tonight, or the A's have to
So
win.
they won last night. The
The
A's.
magic number is 1.
Right. So the A's won last night also. Or they played.
Well, just at least
It's just one game.
well, yeah, it's all once the
You reconsidering going, or you're not? You just can't.
Next Wednesday?
Yeah.
I mean, good customer's name once.
Does your dad go to like every game
He doesn't go to every game.
of the 81? What is he going to?
Staples is playing Ridgefield in football tonight. Update, we're on 14-7. Huge.
But this is the high school you'd rather be at.
You want to pull up the Staples broadcast? What? Pull up the Staples broadcast? Literally about to.
Where did the kid that took over for you go?
2 kids. Well, so one's in Florida. 3 kids, really. One's in Florida, one's in Maryland, one's here. But he dropped out from the first week. We're not really sure what happened.
And is the kid doing AER and all that stuff?
He dropped out after a week.
Oh, he dropped. Oh,
We're not really sure.
was he the most talented one?
What?
Was he the most talented one, or?
The best kid's in Florida. He's really good. I always wanted him to come here.
Dropped out, and we don't know why.
He have no idea.
Wow. For your parents to say okay?
I mean, for dropping out, I feel like that's just not like a.
Well, I was about to say the first thought's homesick, but
Not after a week.
well,
You know who's gonna figure out why this kid who he's never met dropped out? Corey Spencer.
I know people well.
By the way, I had 6 69s in the first half.
It was overkill.
I'm not gonna match that.
Just
If you're
overkill.
wondering, when I said that he averaged nearly 6.9 yards per carry,
I don't-
last
it wasn't
week,
too hard
he
to figure
averaged
out.
6.7.
It's not too hard to figure out. It wasn't too hard to figure out.
I hope we have people listening who are correcting our
16 seconds
broadcast.
left in the quarter.
That one was huge. I was like, did you?
He literally
I was like, dude,
stopped
hurry
talking.
up.
No, when the clock's winding down.
Like,
No, when the clock's winding down, since we have the decimals up, like let's say the game's out of reach, someone's taking a knee, you're recapping,
0
whatever, with 20
points.
seconds. You're,
6.9
you're mid-conversation.
seconds.
6.9 seconds remaining.
I couldn't get I also went 420, but nobody got it. I was like, balls near the 20, it's 4th down. Or 4th down, balls near the 20.
Such a stretch.
It's just difficult, you know? The 6 times are easy. The 4th
Call the game.
Just go in the game.
I get bored.
you know when people say that
You get
broadcasters should just talk about sports, this is what they mean.
I'm gonna break into that kickstart.
Yeah, right. Yeah, seriously.
Hey, you're in the right place for it.
Yes, this is true.
Yo,
Auburn?
I think they're about to play again. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what's first time.
Who's starting with the ball? JD?
Yeah, I could not read this.
Livid.
Yeah, I thought you were just crossing out DeWitt.
No. But
What?
then you see the coach? He's furious.
No, I did, but I thought you were writing into where I had written white as their jersey.
Homecoming.
Oh, homecoming. Yes.
It'd be pretty good.
Yes.
That's not what I meant.
No, I know it isn't now, but
High
like,
school is celebrating
he
the
goes to
annual
write JV
homecoming.
coach is livid and writes Justin there, doesn't write that one at first, and I just
On the
said JV
homecoming
coach is
court
white, and I
this
got
year.
angry at him. I saw that. I was like,
But he was
For the
like
girls.
screaming, and I couldn't figure out what.
Are Grace Baranek, Stephanie Jera, Abby High, and Julia Tumber.
so was anybody on their homecoming court?
The boys'
Anybody on their
homecoming court are Jake Coleman,
We didn't have homecoming.
We didn't
Nick
have
Deck,
We didn't have homecoming.
Johnny
You
Malajuplo,
and your homecoming court, Big Dad?
and in the locker room, Liam Scholes.
I don't. We did for soccer, but I'm not going back for 5 people in the stands.
So we didn't have people to go home for. I mean, we just had.
I mean, we had homecoming.
Yeah. What's your name?
Cooper.
What's your first name?
That's my first name.
Cooper what?
Cooper Boardman.
Cooper Boardman.
Yes.
Okay. He's gonna draw it.
No way.
Oh
Do we
boy.
have an on?
Oh
Cooper
boy.
gets everything.
Yeah. okay. You got no commercial out of town.
Cheater. You know someone.
There it is. Oh yeah.
Now they know to yell at.
You should let him say it too.
Oh, high school.
My mom was homecoming queen.
Yeah.
Way
Wow,
better.
really just a step down for you.
Gotta give this winner CNY Street.
We didn't even have homecoming, dude. We had nothing. The high school's too small and too new.
Just tell them to report to the press box. I kind of hang out
The
here.
50-50 raffle was drawn tonight by future ESPN color commentator Cooper Boardman
From the Syracuse.
from the Syracuse University School of Newhouse Communications. And the winning number is 4, 8, 5, 7, 6, 2.
I hope no one claims it.
It's 4, 8, 5, 7, 6, 2.
Honor. Thank you. Big for the brand.
Please report to the press box.
Oh, tell them to report.
Please report to the press box to claim your winnings.
I expect at least a quarter of the winnings.
I know I missed
That was
That was
Cooper
magical.
doesn't
It was the
need
best
any
press.
press.
I've never been more happy.
He doesn't need any more press.
the best thing that's ever happened to me. That's gonna be like one of those like 15 years from now. Remember that time at the Auburn press box?
We're doing a 50-50, and that was his ticket. What if we bought like one ticket and he drew so?
I got my tickets over.
Okay.
I'm not blue.
Come on. Sorry.
Check your luck. I drew it. Come on, man. This guy's hotter than Shaky guy. That big Shaky ass. Huge Shaky ass. You get to call this team's games every week. What? You get to call this team's games all the way through a week. There's 2 more games.
You guys ever see Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
So like the band, usually I just play music, but the band's doing something third quarter. But I'm like, I gotta play their walkout song. So like, I'm gonna be like Andy Dufresne playing the music.
I love it.
190.
You a big hockey guy? Hey!
All I do is I donate that $5 at a time.
Congratulations! I did that. You posted it. I want to know what the winner gets.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Please screenshot that to Tommy. Or at least to Drew, or like one of them. I just want it. I'm just gonna keep it for posterity. Yeah, we're just. It's a radio thing. You wouldn't get it. I have.
Here come the winners.
Anything? Feel free to. Feel free to tell me to do play-by-play things that I'm not.
Oh, I will.
Just tell me when you're ready.
Not yet. We need to laugh this up. I figure. What? Yeah, it kind of sounds okay. Let's see. I figure we're going. What a night!
Need to wake up tomorrow and play
In Parker's.
Check it out. It's
I figure we're doing. I got Maroon on.
Did you pick somebody's 50-50
He caught Mahonik caught the second.
Mahonik. I don't know if that's it, but
He was the
Mahonik was the second touchdown, right? 6.9 touchdown grab. 6.9 yard touchdown grab. Was it from the 7? I think
I have the
Bowman touchdown.
Air shy of a 7-yard run.
You know as well as I know from playing high school football that 40 seconds is not 40 seconds. No, bring it back. Oh, no. Oh.
God, this is my favorite thing. Stretching circles.
You text her when you used her.
What?
Text her when you used her.
Who? Yeah. Oh, I've got an update today. That's fun.
In the future, will be given. Desk in 15 hours. Your show in about 12.
12.
Who's making the rundown?
Somebody at some point.
Bill Gross is currently calling a game on an earbud.
Alright, let's do this. We're ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
Welcome back in CNY streams coverage of Class A football Section 3. Jamesville-DeWitt taking on the Auburn Maroons at historic Collins Stadium. Karl, Moeglein, Cooper Boardman with you. The 14-0 lead right now for the Auburn Maroons over Jamesville-DeWitt after half number 1. Cooper, what did Jamesville-DeWitt need? What does Jamesville-DeWitt need to do to get back into the game in the second half?
Karl, it's pretty simple. Put the ball in the end zone. They've driven inside the 20-yard line 3 times today and just haven't been able to actually find pay dirt. If you're Eric Ormond and the rest of this Red Rams offense, you just got to finish out these drives, and this is a much different ball game.
Karl Bowman is the star for the Maroons. What have you seen from him in the first half that makes him so talented, really stand out?
First quarter, they didn't get him the ball very much, and it was a very quiet first quarter for him, and there's a reason why it was 0-0 at the end of 12 minutes of play. Well, in the second 12-minute frame, the second quarter, Auburn got him the football. He ends up taking it in from 14 yards out. In addition to him, got some really good contributions from some other guys. Shaheed Beal, both offensively and defensively, made the plays he's needed to make. And overall for Auburn, you feel good about the first half, but certainly this could be a much bigger deficit for JD if a couple things go the Maroons' way.
I think neither team would say they were fully happy with the first half, but in the same way, both teams had good signs. You talked a little bit about that JD offense and the inability to execute. What do they need to do if they want to slow down an offense that's really powered by Karl Bowman?
Absolutely, and I think, the Maroons, what they look to do is control the point of attack. When they can get that ground game going, they're really tough to stop. Look for JD in the second half to load up the box a little bit and force Auburn to throw the football.
And a JD kicking off left to right, and Auburn, lots of bodies up in front near the ball. Looks like they're quite ready for an onside kick attempt if it is to come from Jamesville-DeWitt. A number of these teams often, especially if they don't have a good kicker, opt to try to go to the onside kick. More often than not,
one onside kick today.
Auburn started the game with an onside kick. Jamesville-DeWitt, they haven't kicked off yet this game. Take the opening kick, and then Auburn been the only team to score. So the first time we'll see this Red Rams team kick off. This may be the Maroons just knowing the scouting report. Ball going to be kicked from the 40-yard line of the Red Rams. At the 50 stand 5 Maroon players, 4 players 5 yards behind them. A big formation as the Red Rams go to kick. A little stutter step. Not so fast as the Red Rams. Matt Shurko, the kicker.
A lot of teams, yeah. So they're right.
And as the Red Rams spread out, the Maroons step back, denying the Red Rams the initial onside kick. Left to right the kick as we are underway. The line drive kick fielded at the 30-yard line.
21.
Taken all the way back. Makes a move out on the outside. 40 past the 30. Dante Herndon down inside the 10-yard line. A big return for the Maroons to get this second half underway.
Well, Dante Herndon plays running back. He plays wide receiver for the Auburn Maroons. That time, he ends up with the football, kind of looked around, didn't know where he was going, and then dashed forward inside the 5-yard line. That is about as good of a start as it gets for Dave Moskoff and this Maroons squad.
And the Red Rams know the kicking game isn't their strength, although there's a flag on the play, and that could end up leading this ball walking a long way back.
It's a late flag.
The flag came in a little bit late, and it's going to take off most of this play. The referee's still walking back, and the ball finally gets placed down the 46-yard line of Auburn. So the Maroons do start in their own territory. Not the red zone, but still end up with good starting field position.
And for JD in the first half, it was mostly a JD control first half in terms of field positioning. Auburn had to put together a couple of long drives to punch it in, which they were able to do. Now the Maroons get the benefit of only having to go 54 yards to punch it in.
Troy Cherney, the sophomore quarterback, steps under center. Two backs directly behind, one receiver either side, pitch out to Boardman. He runs far left side
Brought down by number 8.
and finally gets pushed out of bounds.
Number 6.
Number 6, Max Shurko, the one who finally pushes him out.
We've seen Churko and Vespi in the center of that JD defense all day long. They've done a good job of is working inside out. The good pursuit angles to keep Bowman from breaking off.
Now 2nd down and 9, the 47-yard line. Cherney steps under center. One receiver either side, the left hash mark, hand up the middle, Bowman.
Down by
Shimmies a little bit, up to the 48-yard line.
Up the middle, brought down by number 99, Shane Wright. After a game
That brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 4 to be exact. Cross midfield now, so it'll be about the 47-yard line of JD. And the Maroons been very successful on these 3rd and short situations.
They've been successful because they've given it to one man, number 44.
We'll see if he gets the handoff here back in that I formation. The handoff, the fullback initially stopped and looks like brought down short of the line to gain. The Maroons not able to pick it up on the short run. And that'll bring up 4th and 1 and a likely 4th down try. James Grime, the attempt on 3rd down, brings up 4th and short.
You know Auburn's going to keep the offense on the field. The success that they've had converting on 3rd and 4th down today, we haven't seen JD stop them once on a 4th down conversion attempt.
We'll see if the Red Rams have what it takes here on 4th and 2, the 46-yard line.
that safety's getting chewed.
Fullback and the halfback, both options here on 4th, 2 receivers. Attempting the QB sneak, but before that, whistles. And the timeout's going to be called by Auburn. So, Coach Moskov electing to talk this one over a little bit. Cooper, it's really early here in the 3rd quarter. Walk us through why a head coach might be taking a timeout here on 4th down.
Well, in the context of this game, this is such a big drive. A 2-possession lead for the Auburn Maroons. And, well, if they can go down and punch it in, you make this a 21-0 game. That's a nearly insurmountable deficit for JD. But if you don't get it, you give the Red Rams good field positioning and an opportunity, if they can come back and score, to make it to a 14-7 game and just a 1-score game. You want to make sure everybody's on the same page. You want to have the right play call called if you're Dave Moskov on this 4th down and short.
And so Auburn breaks out of the huddle. The Red Rams come to meet. Cherney in the shotgun, first time this drive. 4th and 2 on the 45-yard line. Handoff is to Bowman. He attempts it up the middle. Swallowed up. And it'll depend on forward progress. Does look like he'll be marked far enough for 1st down.
Auburn just winning at the point of attack. The fact is when you go one-on-one, your entire offensive line can get pushed and push the defensive line a yard or 2 down the field. Your running back is going to have a lot of success. That's what's happening with Bowman here tonight. He picks up the 1st down there.
Ball finally marked at the 42-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Maroons, moving right to left. 14-0 lead, 9:45 left in the 3rd quarter. Snap is taken by Cherney, looking to pass. Lefty sends it Ball up in the air, caught. Brought down now the 10-yard line. It's Beal who makes the play, and the Maroons are in business from the 40 to the 10.
We saw Shaheed Beal go up over a defender and make catch on a 2-point conversion back in the second quarter. That time, a ball up there for a long time. He goes up, picks it out of the air, and picks up another big gainer.
And how different does it feel from the 35 down to the 10-yard line? Now 1st and goal for the Maroons. And back into that 2-back formation. Cherney fakes the handoff, rolls to his left, passes to the end zone. Caught, Schultz, touchdown Maroons, and they go up 20-0. 2 weeks ago, a pair of touchdown passes by Schultz, and he adds to the Maroon lead. 9:08 to go in the third quarter.
Just a pretty simple flick out to the far side, and that's the second time today we've seen the Maroons throw to the corner of the end zone. The second time today we've seen it be successful.
And the second time on play action, and that's what you get when you have such powerful backs and you're winning at the point of contact like you talked about. When you're winning in the trenches, it opens up other spots because you need help to be brought up. Now a 20-point lead, and the Rams a chance to make it, or the Maroons a chance to make it a 22-point lead here. Cherney takes the snap, rolls out to his left, pressure coming, flings the ball up into the back of the end zone. Going to depend on the mark, and they're going to call it out of bounds. The referee directly on the line. Beal brought it in, and it looks like it's incomplete.
Sorry, guys.
Cherney's 2-point pass.
So 20-0 game, under 10 to go in the third quarter. And well, for Auburn, you take advantage of the really good field position. You punch it in after picking up a 4th down conversion as well. Now it's JD's turn to respond. We've seen the Red Rams offense come so close time and time again. They just haven't been able to put it home. Figure if you want to have an opportunity to get yourself back in the ball game, the Red Rams are going to need to score on this drive.
So now a little over 9 minutes left, 20-point deficit, but certainly plenty of time to come back in this game. For JD, so far what's worked today has seemed to be the passing attack, and that's got to be the biggest thing so far for them, is how do you continue to really stretch the field.
And they've thrown the ball well. They've thrown the ball. Hannes looking for Kelvin Hunt, looking for Evan Doherty, as well as, of course, Patrick Murad. It's just going to see that a little bit more consistently if you're Eric Ormond.
So JD now to kick. Auburn to kick, JD to receive. The kick will come right to left. We've called his name all day. Shaheed Beal, been a big part. He's also the kicker for this Maroons team. From the 40-yard line, sends it away. It's a little squib kick, onside attempt, and that seems like a questionable call when you're up by 20.
I think it may have caromed off of Maroon's gunner as well. He stepped up and kicked it off of maybe a player. The ball went up into the air, and JD ends up coming up with it.
And fantastic field position, as JD is going to start within Auburn territory. The ball marks at the 45-yard line of Auburn. JD to come out on offense. Adam Hannes under center here, 1st and 10. 2 receivers out left, 1 motions. Fake handoff up the middle. Hannes tries to take it up and just tripped on Kelvin Hunt.
Hannes on the keeper for a short gain.
So it's going to be 2nd and maybe 9.5. Not much of a gain there. Call it about the 44, 45-yard line. Under 9 minutes to go now. JD still likes to air it out, but does take their time in the huddle, make the play call. Play clock just over 10 seconds. Now 2 receivers to the right, 1 back, 1 far left. Takes the snap, the pitch. Running out far side and being immediately taken down is Doherty. Evan Doherty, really no running room out to the far side. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Red Rams.
We've called Doherty's name, we've called Hunn's name, we've called Murad's name. The one name we haven't talked about much today is Caleb McLeod, the receiver on the outside who had 3 receptions for 93 yards and a couple of touchdowns a week ago. really hasn't been heard from today for JD. He's been matched up on the outside with Beal, and Beal has done a really good job with them. He's on the wide side of the field, though.
The snap taken, throwing out to McLeod. As a jump ball. Slips up and no flag there. Beal does a good job not pushing off. And as you mentioned, that great coverage from here. And now on 4th and long, the Red Rams are going to have to punt.
And once again, looking for McLeod that time. We just talked about him a moment ago. One-on-one coverage, and Beal just wins that battle. When you can have your corners and your defensive secondary be successful in one-on-one matchups, you're going to have a lot of defensive success in general.
Shaheed Beal back to receive the punt for the Maroons.
Shaheed Beal now back to receive the punt as the snap is off. Ball, good kick, bounces down at the 34-yard line. Does take a slight Maroon bounce. And the Maroons will take over decently deep in their territory, but now they'll have a chance to start winding down this clock for the Rams.
It's 20-0, and certainly that's not an insurmountable deficit, but this drive for the JD defense, you need to stop. Any score of really any kind for Auburn gives the Maroons an opportunity to take a stranglehold on this game.
Less than 8 minutes to go. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Auburn, their second drive of the second half, and they start from their own 24-yard line. That big formation, 2 running backs, 1 receiver to each side. They do send it out to the near side receiver, Beal. He makes a man miss at the 20, right past the 30, and cuts down
by 15 for JD.
to the 32-yard line near the yard marker to gain.
So 2 types of passing attack from Auburn thus far. We've seen them flick it out really quick and try to get guys like Beal in space. We've also seen the bootleg a little bit. The fact is, they just want to give their best players the football with green grass in front of them, and both Beal as well as a couple of other receivers have had some success tonight.
So now after the 8-yard pickup, maybe 9, it's going to be 2nd and short at the 33-yard line of the Maroons. Chance to pick up the first down here. 2nd and short. Snap taken. Hands off, but flags will fly before. And it's going to be a false start on the Maroons. They've been really disciplined so far today. Really, both sides been a clean game, but that's going to walk them back 5.
And it's funny because this game started with a muffed onside kick and then an offsides call on Auburn. And since then, it's been a really, really clean football game.
Quickly moving along, now under 7 minutes to go already here in the 3rd quarter. It's going to be 2nd and 6.5 at the 28-yard line of the Maroons. So 2nd and short turns in the 2nd and a little bit more than that. They go back into the huddle to figure things out. Break it. Now Cherney goes back. Will be in the shotgun for there. They do have a mix of sets. One back to his right hip. Bowman in the backfield. The handoff does go to him. He tries to take it near side, but immediately wrapped up. A big play by number 57 of the Red Rams.
Bowman brought down behind the line of scrimmage by number 52.
Chris Parker, the man who was able to get to him.
Looks like a 7. I don't know what we call that.
Chris Parker eventually makes the tackle, and so it's a big loss. And it goes from what was originally 2nd and 2, a penalty, and a loss on a run means it's 3rd and more than 10 now on the 24-yard line. And this is one thing the Maroons haven't had to deal with all day, 3rd and long.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go. In the big situations, they've gone to Beal, but don't forget about Liam Schultz on the outside as well.
Still in that running formation. Take the hand to Bowman, end up handing to Beal. He tries to run around the outside, but a good tackle made there, bringing it down. Evan Doherty makes an impressive play to wrap him up, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
That's a great play from Doherty. 5'10", 150 pounds. He plays linebacker, and what he doesn't do is he doesn't let Beal break contain. Your job is to stay over there. He does just that, makes the tackle.
A punt formation. Beal looks to get it off. Almost blocked, but sends it away. It's a high kick. Goes off the hands of the Red Ram return man. Patrick Murad couldn't do anything with that one and ends up going behind him after bouncing off his hands. And so a big punt puts
The
the Rams all the way back
take over on
and about their own 20-yard line, 24 maybe.
24-yard line.
JD's defense gets the stop that it needs to get. Now an opportunity for the Red Rams offense. We've talked about it all day long, how they've moved the football relatively consistently. They just haven't found the end zone. This is the time to do it. You can make this a two-possession game. There's still plenty of time left, but you figure Eric Ormond's squad has to find the end zone on this drive.
JD moving left to right, 1st and 10 from the 25. Snap taken, and going to take it all the way down, punt out the outside. Adam Hannes, the quarterback, took that one for a big gain.
Hannes has done a good job of running the
Hannes on the
football.
scramble,
He got
picks
around
up
the
about
outside there. We just
15
kind of talked
yards.
about breaking,
This is a
contain.
JD first
Gets down the
down.
far sideline, gets past a couple of defenders.
5 minutes left here in the third quarter. The 20-0 lead for Auburn. JD with the football, moving left to right. First down after the big gain. Second play of the drive, their own 41-yard line. 2 receivers on the near side, 1 back. Fakes the handoff. Hannes tries to take it up the middle. Swallowed up, but still able to pick up a few yards.
29. So
They use Doherty as the
Hannes on the
pistol
keeper,
back, and what they
brought
do
down by
most of the
number
time is fake the
29,
handoff to him and then
Dylan
use him as a
Vaughn.
lead blocker. He's done a really good job in that role. We just talked about him as a linebacker. Well, that time makes a good block and helps his quarterback extend for a couple of yards.
Adam Hannes been really impressive all game long, really the best athlete on the team. But one thing we haven't talked about, he wasn't even supposed to be the starter for this team coming in there. Now 3 receivers, a passing set for DeWitt. No, it's a screen. Caleb McLeod gets the ball on the near side, and he's just going to drag Maroons past the yard to gain, past the 52-yard line. A big pickup for JD.
We talked about it last drive. Caleb McLeod hasn't seen the football all that much. Well, it's the first time today that JD comes out in a trip set. They run him on a bubble screen. 2 lead blockers in front of him, and he rumbles ahead for the first down.
First down going to come from about the 47-yard line. Under 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. The 20-0 lead for the Maroons. But JD trying to put together their first complete drive of the day after 3 turnovers and downs in the first half. Whistles blow timeout by Auburn.
Timeout, Maroons.
And Auburn definitely elects to talk it over multiple times. This is the second one of the quarter now. Is this really just trying to slow down the JD momentum?
I think so. And it's certainly an interesting call for Auburn, considering the fact that Dave Moskoff now left with just a single timeout. But you want to make sure you have the right personnel on the field. You want to make sure that when you see a different look from an offense that you're ready for it. And certainly that trips look for the first time from JD looked to throw Auburn for a little bit of a loop.
This JD team so successful moving the ball all day. If you want to talk about total yards, this is a pretty close game so far today. But when it comes to the scoreboard, the Maroons are all over it, 20-0. What has got to be different on this JD drive?
For JD, and we've talked about their ability to move the football, I think he probably got to take to the air a little bit more, but we've seen these long passes down the field on essentially jet routes on the outside, which was successful early and it's been less so. Get the ball out to your athletes, guys like McLeod, guys like Kowalczyk, and let them go out there and make plays.
Ball in the 47, it's 1st and 10. 3 receivers out to the left. However, Hannes is going to take it himself in the middle, this time for no real gain, maybe a yard.
Hannes on the keeper.
And Auburn defensively is daring JD to throw the football. They're putting 7, 8 guys in the box and just going one-on-one coverage across the board. The Red Rams will have some opportunities to pitch and catch if they want to take it.
Now 2nd and 9. Ball, we'll call it the 46. Hannes breaks the huddle, stays in the shotgun. 2 receivers on either side and a single back. Hannes takes the snap, looks left, throws left, and it's going to be dropped. Had the ball in the hands of his receiver.
Hannes pass attempt to number 81.
And it looked like Patrick Marad was unable to bring it in. That was the first short pass we've seen him, and we've even seen him very successful on the long ball, but didn't bring that one in.
Well, just said it. It's one-on-one coverage across the board. So if you want to take advantage, guys like Murad, guys like Wright are going to have some space if they can throw the football. JD just hasn't shown its ability to do that. That time, the receiver Murad couldn't reel it in.
So now this drive could be getting toward its end. It's 3rd and 9 for the Red Rams. Hannes takes the snap, throws out left. They get a few yards immediately, but Murad quickly brought down, and maybe only a 2-yard gain there.
And I like that. Murad just drops the football on a pass that he was wide open, but they go right back to him. He gets a couple of blocks, makes the catch. And now it brings up 4th down and manageable for JD.
Injury timeout.
And an injured player now down on the field for the Red Rams. And while he gets tended to, let's talk a little bit about what this Red Rams team needs to do here on 4th and 7. A little under 3 minutes left to go in the quarter, and trailing by 20. Definitely one of those plays that feels like it's going to be a big one, and if they miss it, Auburn with this big punishing running game may be able to run a lot of clock off. So this may be one of the biggest plays. You know, there's a lot of weapons we've talked about for the Red Rams. Who do you trust, though, in this and really the biggest of situations?
And I think you probably go to Adam Hannes, your quarterback, maybe not necessarily running the football, but if I'm JD, I roll him out. I give him an opportunity to run, but also throw the football. There are plenty of weapons. Because it's such an in-between down, 6.8, 6.9, 7 yards here on 4th down, you probably have to throw the football.
So now 4th down and 7. Ball on the 44-yard line of the Maroons. Hannes single back, 2 receivers either side. Snap taken. Looks right, throws right. 1st down and more. Kelvin Hun picks up the big gain near the 30-yard line, and JD's in business.
One-on-one coverage. Hun just goes right past his defender. There's a big soft spot in the center of this defense. If JD wants to take it, they do it, and that's good enough to move the chains.
Auburn,
the Auburn 29 now where JD is. Just over 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Takes the snap. Hannes fakes the handoff, tries to do it, and that play may be overworked now as he only gets about a 1-yard gain.
The defense isn't changing for Auburn. They're putting 7 men in the box, 8 men in the box, and putting those corners and safeties on islands. JD is going to have to throw the football if it wants to get back into this game.
So it will be 2nd and 10 now. And you're right, they've had a lot more success throwing the ball, but one of the most interesting things to me, he's rarely had a lot of time in the pocket, not even scrambling. Most of the throw plays have been these quick balls. See if they change from that here on 2nd and 10. Hannes takes the snap, throws right. It's Hun again, caught in the middle and up near the 20-yard line. That looks like it's going to be very close to a 1st down.
Talk all you want about the one-on-one coverage. That time Hun runs a slant route from the slot. It's one of the most difficult routes to cover if you're in a one-on-one matchup. He gets inside, makes the catch, and now puts it 3rd down and short.
So 1st down marker maybe at the 19.5. Ball marked at the 20-yard line. So call it 3rd and 1 for JD. There's 1 back, 2 receivers out. That's what we've seen most of this drive. Quickly, Hannes moves up in the center. He's going to try to sneak it. Kind of rolls over the pile, and it'll be good enough for a 1st down. Only makes it to about the 19, but that's what they needed.
In football, they say the man whoever gets lower has the advantage in terms of possession. Hannes gets lower there, barrels over a tackler, and goes high, jumping over the pile to get the 1st down.
We saw him flip earlier. We see him roll now. Really just likes to keep it limber out there.
6'3", 215, but he doesn't look like it when he's moving.
Now under a minute to go. Hannes calls for the snap. Bunch 2 receivers either side. Throws the ball up in the end zone. Good play made on the ball. And Troy Cherney breaks up the play. Hannes attempting to go for the end zone, but couldn't get it there.
Troy Cherney plays quarterback for this Auburn team, but also he's playing really good defensive back. This is the first time today we've seen him targeted. Goes up and knocks that one to the ground.
So now about 40 seconds to go. 2nd and 10, the 18-yard line. Honest calls for the snap, fakes the handoff, and immediately dragged down. 73 stepping in to make the play. That's Luke Lakowski making the play. The clock running, and we're getting very close to the end here of the third quarter. Maybe just one more Auburn play here, and it's going to be third and very long, out past the 20-yard line. And what we could see is just yet another Auburn drive, or Auburn defense stalling just yet another JD drive. It looks like they're going to let this quarter run out.
And what I don't understand from JD is you have so much success throwing the ball over the middle, the quick hitters, because all the guys are matched up in man-to-man coverage, and then they get inside the 20-yard line and suddenly they're a completely different offensive team.
And that brings us to the end of 3 quarters here at historic Holland Field. You're listening to CNY Stream. The Auburn Maroons lead the Jamesville-DeWitt Red Rams 20-0. We'll be right back. All right, I'm working on yard lines. It's coming. Hopefully.
So our guys from FM are winning?
Yes, Tim Shaw, GOAT again.
What different schools you guys do?
What's that?
Well, so we work for. You guys familiar at all with Z89? I don't know if it reaches out here. I don't think it does. But it's a station on the Syracuse's campus. I mean, it's relatively popular. We do one Friday night football game a week, and you can get it online also through iHeart.
What made you guys pick it up? Pick this game?
So this isn't Z89. This is CNY Stream.
It's a company that one of my good buddies started who had some health issues last year, kind of fell behind. A bunch of student media outlets, so he just said, I'm going to make my own thing. And we're just trying to do as many local high schools in the area.
Awesome.
So we have an affiliation with JD.
Welcome back into CNY Stream. We're ready, just about ready to start the final quarter of action. The Red Rams trailing the Maroons 20-0, but threatening here just outside the 23-yard line. We 3rd and 14 for Jamesville-DeWitt. The full 12 minutes of the fourth quarter on the clock. Adam Honest takes the shotgun snap, rolls out to his left. The pressure coming, but he escapes. Makes one man miss. Outside, escapes. And not all the way to the first down, but out past the 15. Going to pick up a lot of it.
Honest on the keeper, picks up 6.
You can give Honest the football, let him get out in space. We've kind of talked about it on the opposite side of things when we're talking about Quashar Bowman. When you give Adam Honest a little bit of room to run, he'll make it pay. He does that just there.
It'll be 4th and medium. Ball just past the 15-yard line. 4th and 5 going to be the official distance from the 13-yard line. How many big fourth downs has JD had today? Feels like plenty, but yet another here with just over 11 minutes to go. Honus takes the snap, throws, back corner of the end zone, caught for the touchdown, and the Red Rams on the board. Jamesville-DeWitt finds the end zone thanks to Carter Kolowitz. And a little bit of confusion, but it does look like the Rams put themselves in the end zone. The official sign comes from the referee, and Jamesville-DeWitt officially on the board.
Honest's pass to number 4, Calvin Hunt, is complete.
And that's what you're
JD
looking for if
touchdown.
you're JD, to come right back, put the ball in the end zone, and now it's just a 2-possession game.
Carter Kowalczyk pulls in the touchdown, and now Jamesville-DeWitt comes out for the 2-point conversion, down by 14. Honest takes the snap, rolls to his right, throws to his right, gets it complete, and Kevin Hahn looks like we got the touchdown signal from the referee, or the complete signal of the 2-point conversion. It is good, and so 20-8 the score, and just like that, Jamesville-DeWitt, a little bit of life in this ball game.
Score, Auburn
We
20,
talked about the
JD
entire
8.
first half and what JD was able to do offensively, and certainly they had a lot of success in that department, but the response, or rather what they were able to do in that first half, they just weren't able to punch the football in. Well, now they come out in the second half, drive all the way down, and finally find the end zone. It's got to feel good for this JD team.
22-8 the score with just over 11 minutes to go. Fourth quarter of action here in Auburn. And Jamesville-DeWitt will run out. We've talked about this team and their somewhat love of onside kicks. The only time they kicked off so far this game, a penalty, the only reason it wasn't brought out for a long way. And Auburn immediately sets up for the potential of an onside kick. Just one man back for the Maroons at the moment. That's Shaheed Bell, the really utility man of this Maroon team. The full huddle near the ball for Jamesville-DeWitt, not revealing their strategy till the last moment. They'll be kicking right to left from the 40-yard line. Max Shurko, the senior kicker. The onside kick, and it goes exactly 3 inches. Shurko just kind of whiffs on it. And while they would have been the first team to the ball, not exactly what you want.
I'm pretty sure if wind blows the ball off the tee there, it probably goes further than that onside kick.
So Maroons catch a break by doing just about nothing. They start out with the ball on the 40-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 as Auburn looking to put away this football game with just over 11 minutes to go. And a big drive for the Maroons, mainly to answer. They haven't had to do much to stay in the lead against the Red Rams, but now they do. It's just a 12-point game, and wow, what a world of difference would a touchdown make here. So 1st and 10 from the 40. Cherney hands it off. That's going to be Boardman, and he brings it up the middle. Makes a couple guys come along with him. Makes about 5 yards to the 35-yard line. Clock ticks under 11 minutes to go. It'll be 2nd and about 4. They'll mark it at 33 and a half. 33-yard line after the big up by Bashar Boardman. Able to set Maroons up well. 10:30 on the clock. 2 men in the backfield, a receiver on both sides. The shotgun setup. Fakes the handoff to the fullback, then hands it off to Boardman. He's met in the backfield, though. A good job by this Jamesville-DeWitt defense stepping up. Looks like Chris Parker, along with a couple other guys in the backfield, and makes it 3rd and about 5. Good job wrapping up Boardman. Boardman been so hard to stop, but they have been successful occasionally at bringing him back down the backfield, especially when he doesn't get a full head of steam. That seems when he's most dangerous.
And certainly, JD in the second half has done a good job of keeping him from breaking anything too big.
Auburn comes back out, still in the shotgun set as Cherney. One back to his right, takes the snap, he's going to throw. The lefty launches it deep, up for the pass up for Beal, and he can't make the catch. Good job in coverage by Kelvin Hahn as he breaks up the play, and it's going to be 4th down for Auburn, and they're at risk of going 4 and out after getting gifted such good field position.
And you like that fire, too. Kelvin Hahn gets up, celebrates a little bit. And it's funny because Eric Ormond said, I want these guys to go out there and have some fun. You don't want to go out there and play like a curmudgeon. You just want to go out and enjoy what you're doing.
4th and 4 from the 34-yard line for Auburn. Cherney takes the snap, a full 9-step drop, passes it off to Boardman. He breaks one out on the outside, and it's going to depend where they mark him out. Mark him at the 30. That might be a beneficial stop, but it looks like they will give him just about the 1st down. We'll have to see what the referees say.
The 1st down marker is literally on the 30-yard line, and it was certainly close. I thought he stepped out before that, but looks as though it's going to be enough.
Boardman tiptoes just long enough, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Auburn Maroons. The 30-yard line, and an important drive continues for them. Cherney back under center, the I formation, 1 receiver either side. Takes the handoff twice, now rolls to his left. Hits his receiver, Connor Mahonic, all the way to the end zone. A 30-yard touchdown for the Maroons.
Touchdown number 2 for Moeglein. But a flag thrown, a conversation to be had. It's going to be holding on the offense. And that ball got out so fast, he may not have needed it. But either way, it's going to walk. It's going to walk the Maroons back, and that's a killer penalty. It's been a relatively clean game, but that, like you said, a huge, huge penalty in the context of this game. Not only erases the score, but backs up Auburn a whole heck of a lot. Connor Mahunick thought he had his second touchdown of the day, but not so fast. And that's going to walk them back more than just 10. Holding from the spot of the foul, walks them back 15. And it's going to be 1st and 25 for the Maroons. Back from before they even started this drive. Started at the 40-yard line, now from the 45. Journey looking to pass. Fakes the handoff, looks deep, throws deep. Ball's going to be picked off. That's going to be Patrick Murad making the play, and JD gets the break they need. Well, Murad, the Binghamton lacrosse commit, goes up over a defender to make, or rather over an offensive play, makes the catch. And that essentially acts as a punt for Auburn. Throw it far downfield, let your receiver go up and make the catch. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, now JD gets the offense back on the field.
A little over 9 minutes left, moving right to left across your radio dial. Jamesville-DeWitt comes out. This drive will start on the 17-yard line after Patrick Murad comes up with a big interception. And it'll be 1st and 10. The snap taken by Honus. And the flag will fly.
Bonus pass attempt to number 4.
Honus launched the ball out. Referee's chattering. We'll see what happens.
So nothing ends up coming of it. 9 minutes left now here at historic Holland Field.
Could not be more historic, Karl. That is historic as it gets.
The ball on the 17-yard line for 2nd down. Adam Honus has a single back, motions one receiver, fakes the handoff. Honus going to pitch it off. That's Vespi. He's going to try to take it out to the right side. Doesn't have much room and ends up getting brought down.
Great pursuit from the Auburn defense. It kind of looked like Vespi was trying to run through a cobweb. A bunch of players there to receive him, take him down. That brings up 3rd and long.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Cooper, but I just don't understand this play calling. 2nd down, you're 10 yards to gain, you're trying to play a run play, you're down 2 scores, and there's over almost 9 minutes on the clock.
The entire defense basically is playing in the box. Throw the football.
We'll see what they do on 3rd down. Honus in a shotgun. Vespi once again in motion. Honus takes the snap, throws in the middle, and the catch is made. Kelvin Hunn past the 30, past the 35, finally down around the 37. And Kelvin Hunn has done some great things in the middle.
He lines up in the slot, shimmies past the defender, leaves the guy who's guarding him lollygagging behind him. He makes the catch, takes it across the 1st down marker, and JD's marching once again.
That play could not have been bigger as the Jamesville-DeWitt drive continues. They trail 20-8, moving right to left. Ball now on the 37-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Jamesville-DeWitt. Honus breaks the huddle. He's got 2 receivers to both sides and a single back. We'll see Vespi once again in motion. Hand off to Vespi. He looks outside. Immediately met, though, and dragged down. The big play by Robert Morris takes him down for a loss, and it's going to be 2nd and long.
And that's the defensive play that Auburn needed, because what happens is you put Jamesville-DeWitt way behind the sticks, makes it that much tougher for the Red Rams.
That's a loss of almost 10 yards. It's going to be 2nd and very long. Ball spotted on the 27-yard line. To give you some context, the yard to gain almost near midfield. But still just 2nd down. Timeout going to be called. Jamesville-DeWitt, the team. Red Rams going to call the timeout, talk this one over. Board says 2nd and 20. that seems even shorter than what this may be. A long way to go for this Red Rams team. If you're in that huddle, you're Coach Eric Ormond. What are you preaching to a team down 2 scores with 7 minutes left?
It's not so much about what you're preaching or the message necessarily. It's about the play that you're going to come out with here. It's 2nd down and a mile forever. This is where you go to the playbook. Whatever play you believe in most can rip you off 8, 9, 10 yards. You go deep into that Torah, that Bible, whatever you want to call it, in that playbook, and you try to pick up 10-plus yards on 2nd down and long.
2nd down, we'll likely see 2nd, 3rd, and 4th if it comes to that, as the Red Rams trail 20-8, 7:17 to go in the final quarter of action. Honus in the shotgun, running back on his right hip. Honus takes the snap and looks to throw down the middle. Ball's released. Hun makes the catch, makes the tackle, past the 30, past the 20. Hun to the 10. Touchdown, JD. We have a ball game.
Touchdown pass to number 4, Calvin Hunt.
I just said, you go in, you consult your Torah, whatever you want to call it, into the playbook, and you look for the best play you can possibly. They break out the play action for the first time today, hit him in the seam route, and then Kelvin Hunt does the rest.
Kelvin Hunt been so good today in that slot role, breaks a tackle, and now it's a 20-14 ball game with the 2-point conversion to come. 7:05 left on the clock. Jamesville-DeWitt has made this a ball game. Honus. 2 receivers both side for the 2-point conversion. Going to take it himself and make it in. So the score moves to 20-16 from a 20-point deficit early in the 3rd quarter to 4 points now with 7 minutes left. Jamesville-DeWitt has made this a real close game.
Karl, all of a sudden this game has a little bit of legitimacy to it. A 4-point game in the 4th quarter and an opportunity for the Jamesville-DeWitt Red Rams. 7 minutes to go. You got to stop and a score. Remember, JD this season, 0-4.
0-4 and not a lot of close ball games. An 11-point loss to Susquehanna Valley. They have one 1-score loss. That was in week 2, and since then blown out 2 straight weeks in a row by almost 30 points. But now with 7 minutes left, they trail by 4, and the one thing that comes into play is this JD kicking game. The last time out, Max Shurko attempted an onside kick that went about 1 inch. Now the question is, do you trust your team to hit another one, or do you just try to get this ball as far as you can?
I think you kick it deep, and you let your defense go out there and make plays. They've made plays all day long, especially in this 2nd half. You can do it one more time and give himself an opportunity.
JD winning the turnover battle 2-0. That's been a big play. Once again, that kind of Shurko makes that kind of fake onside kick to start. Now steps out into the normal kicking formation. 2 men back for the Maroons. One of those being the ever-dangerous Kashar Bowman. Shurko puts his right foot into it, but it is the onside kick. Goes about 5 yards, and nothing comes of the kick as Noah Lewis is going to take care of that one. And again, the failure to kick even a legal onside kick, even give your chance with the football, has really hurt the Red Rams so far.
It really, really has. And now Auburn once again gets really good field position, an opportunity for the Maroons to find a little bit of a response of their own. What a night of football it's been. Auburn got up big, and these fans, whether they're wearing red, whether they're wearing maroon, or whether they're wearing magenta, have had a lot to watch out for here today.
7 minutes to go, 1st and 10 for the Auburn Maroons. They start on the 41-yard line. Kearney takes the snap, pitches it outside. Bowman gonna cut past the 35-yard line to the 34. Yashar Bowman continues to be a big part of this game.
The fact is when you have a 4-point lead with 7 minutes to go, the football Bible says give the ball to your best running back, have them run the football, and try to knock out the rest of this clock. Shard Bowman is that guy for Auburn.
Ball on the 33-yard line now. 2 yards to go for the line to gain here on 2nd down. Back in the right formation, Cherney going to go under center. Fakes the handoff to the fullback. Cherney going to take it himself past the 30-yard line and the line to gain. He gets brought down at the 29-yard line. And so a big first down for Auburn. Not only do they pick up another set of downs, but they keep the clock moving now, almost just over 6 minutes left.
Troy Cherney, very quietly, has put up a really good game for Auburn today. Defensively, he's had a couple of pass breakups, and offensively, he hasn't made too many mistakes, and that's what you're looking for. When you have a running back like Boardman, you need him to be a game manager, and he's done that.
And the quarterback will step back under center. The fullback, Schoenfelder. Bowman, the big back, but he eludes both of them. Passes out to Schoenfield. Far side, past the 20. Schoenfield, past the 10. Touchdown, Maroons. That may have iced this one as Auburn extends their lead 26-16. A big play for Auburn. 5:47 left, and they got a 10-point lead.
That's exactly what the Maroons need in terms of a response. It all goes back to JD going with the onside kick. Great field position for Auburn. Only takes a couple of pitches and catches to punch it into the end zone.
Troy Cherney, you talked about him. He's had an impressive day. Not only is he game manager, but that's now 3 touchdown passes a week after he had none. He's truly been the star of this game for the Maroons, just a sophomore, one of his best performances of his young career, with obviously very many to come. 2-point conversion to come. Cherney back under center. He elects to fake the handoff, take it himself, bounces off a defender, and he'll end up getting pushed towards the end zone, but eventually dragged down at just short, so the conversion no good, but certainly not going to bring down these the spirits of these Auburn faithful.
Yeah, you just mentioned the Maroons faithful. They have been treated to an excellent one here tonight. We've talked all about the fans, but how about this stadium in general? Holland Stadium has been such a great atmosphere tonight for this one. Opened back in 1936. The turf is brand new. It used to be a grass surface. 2017, they put in the turf, so a little bit less botany at Holland Stadium, but they have come out. The fans are out here, and boy, has it been a good football game.
Just under 6 minutes left. If you're Jamesville-DeWitt, you need 2 scores to go. The biggest question may not be if you can get 1. It may be even if you can just get the ball back to try for 2. We've already seen a couple successful attempts, but obviously I'm getting ahead of myself. The biggest thing is getting the ball into the end zone. If JD wants to do that, it's going to lie on the hands of their quarterback. No one's been more important this game for JD than Adam Hannes, the quarterback and real senior leader for this JD team. Auburn to kick it back off, moving left to right. 2 men deep for the Red Rams. The kick is away. It's a high one, but not a good one. And ends up falling at the 41-yard line. And instead, it's going to be blown dead before it gets off. It's actually going to be a false start, which may benefit the Maroons based on that kick.
The offsides call on Auburn. Auburn had an opportunity to recover that one, and a ball that went high into the air. JD, you really got to go after that football. It's the treasure, it's the Pirates' booty, whatever it is. You have to go up and catch the football.
A timid Red Rams team there. You need to be aggressive on this kickoff play. 2 men back for JD. 2 of the most electric players on this team. Patrick Murad and Kelvin Hunn, who had that big touchdown that brought JD back within a score for the first time since the second quarter of action. Just under 6 minutes here. Thanks for joining us on CNY Stream. Karl, Moeglein, Cooper, Boardman. Kick is away. Jameer Grimes to send it off. Once again, a little short ball in the air and brought in almost like a pass by JD. They'll get the ball at the 50-yard line. An interesting play there. Gives the Red Rams good field position.
Yeah, that first kick, a high and short one. This one a little bit more of a line drive, a little bit longer. And JD reels that one in to make the grab.
Chris Parker brings it in. The 6'4 senior linebacker making the play. Gotta love the big boy football. So now 1st and 10 may be life for the Red Rams. They start with the ball exactly on midfield, the far side of the block X.
as the block A, they move right to left. Adam Hannes in the shotgun, far right hash mark. Single running back on his right hip, 2 receivers to his left. Hannes looks to throw, does. Left side, Patrick Murad tries to make a man miss and brought down with a big tackle. That time, it's going to be Beal bringing him down. He's been all over the field. There's still plenty of time left in this game. If JD can keep these quick hits going, drive quickly, it can have success. 2nd and 2. 42-yard line. Honus looks to pass. It's going to be a backwards pass. He's got to get on that ball, but he's not. And it's picked up. The backwards pass picked up by Robert Morris. He's been one of the best players on the defense. And just like that, Auburn has the football going the other way. They show a little bit of a wrinkle. They do trips out to the wide side of the field. They run everybody deep, and they've got the running back wide open. Instead, he throws it behind him, the ball on the turf, and the Maroons end up picking it up. Both these teams trying to keep battling, and we've seen that all day. The turnover battle now, 2-2. And it seems like all these turnovers are coming at some of the crucial times. Ends of the first time, JD gets second life off a turnover. Earlier in this half, we saw JD with a pick, leads to the first touchdown drive. And now Auburn, one of the most important turnovers of the game. JD coughs the ball up on a backwards pass. And now they have 1st and 10, the 38-yard line. 5:15 reads the clock. Journey takes the snap, looks to throw right, tries to pass it out, and it's going to be dropped as James Grimes can't bring it in.
It's
a perfect play call. Grimes just leaks out of the backfield, and he's open. He's got to step on his defender. He just tried to run with the football before he actually had it. 5:04 reads the clock. Still a little bit of time, but Auburn slowly icing this game away. They lead 26-16 over Jamesville-DeWitt. A very good one here on CNY Stream. Thank you so much for joining us for this Class A action. Auburn breaks the huddle. Cherney in the shotgun, single back on his hip. Behind him, ever so dangerous, Kashar Bowman. It will be Bowman with the handoff. Looks to take it a little to the right, then slipped and brought down by 24 in the backfield. Evan Doherty, he's been everywhere so far this game.
Yeah, he really has been. And in situations where he's put on an island, one-on-one tackling, situations that are about as hot as a jalapeno, he's been about as cool as it gets tonight.
Timeout, JD.
And the timeout gonna be called. Maroon's going to talk it over. Red Ram's going to talk it over. A big 3rd down, and the clock stops here, which is obviously probably the most important part, as they'll likely have 2 tries to get this 4th down. And if they do pick up a 1st down, that could be ball game.
And if I'm Auburn in this situation, I think I run the football no matter what. You want to force Jay to use up all of its timeouts and try to mount this comeback with no actual ability to stop the clock.
They trail 10 points. Clock just 3 ticks, under 5 minutes. It's going to be 3rd down and 11 or 12 from the 39-yard line of JD. This game going back and forth. This Auburn drive starting from after a fumble from JD, the first fumble of the game for the Red Rams. Turnover battle leaving 2-2. That mistake there giving Auburn the football. Now 3rd and 11. They need to do things. The Red Rams taking every second out of this timeout to talk it over. They run out now on defense. Auburn moving left to right. Journey will be in the shotgun set. He's moved from under center to shotgun throughout this game. Has a receiver on both sides. The lefty takes the snap. Only looking to throw, but now to run. Tries to break through, and a good tackle to bring him down as 99 Shane Wright gonna step in to make that play. 6'2", 205, and he needed every inch of that to slow down Cherney.
The underrated part of that play is that Cherney goes back to pass, then decides to run the football, but it's the way he protects the football. There are JD players ripping at it, and he tucks that under his arm like a pocketbook and does not let it go.
The clock at 4:30, likely to go all the way down to 4:15 if Auburn runs the play clock. 4th and about 7. Snap plays. Journey looks to pass out on the right side,
and can't be dragged in, so that's going to be a turnover on downs. They were targeting James Grimes, couldn't get it, and so Auburn able to burn some clock after the fumble, but not able to put this ball game away. The Red Rams staying in it.
So now a 10-point game with just under 4:20 to go in this final quarter. JD needs 2 possessions, but you got to score quickly on the first one.
JD going to get the football at the 35-yard line of Auburn. 1st and 10. They trail 26-16. They'll have to move right to left, moving right past this loud Auburn student section. Honest takes the shotgun snap, throws it, picks up Murad over midfield past the 45, gets dragged down close to the midfield, and gets the big first down of this drive. The clock will stop before they spot this ball.
And expect a steady diet of Murad. He's the number 2 option on this team, but he has done a really good job of finding the football.
The hurry-up offense. Hannes in the shotgun, looks again to his left, throws it up to Murad. And a little bit of hand fighting between Beal and Murad, but they're not going to call anything like that, especially with the ball well over the defensive back's head. Murad, though, and Beal, that's been the matchup to watch, and it could be down the end of this game.
And here's the thing. Beal was matched up with Caleb McLeod for the majority of the day, and McLeod had been stifled by him. Well, now McLeod's lined up on the far side, one-on-one with Troy Cherney. Keep an eye on that matchup.
The snap taken by Hannes. He's going to throw back to Murad, and it's going to slip in and out of the hands so quickly, bringing up 3rd down just 20 seconds later from when it was 4 minutes left on the clock. Now 3rd and 10, ball still sits just behind midfield. 49-yard line of JD. They move right to left, trying to get back in this ball game. 26-16 left. Adam Hannes has 2 receivers to both sides. The running back on his right hip uses a blocker. He looks to pass and thrown over the middle, but can't bring it in. Kelvin Hunt, he's been so good all day, can't secure the ball. Going to bring up 4th down and 10.
And Karl, here's your ball game. 4th down and 10. You need this 1st down to just keep this ball game alive, or else Auburn's going to run out the rest of this clock.
As you mentioned, just under 4 minutes to go. A 4th and 10 play could not be more important for the Red Rams. Just about 4th and ball game. Hannes in the shotgun. Looks to pass after taking the snap. Steps up to throw. Throws it over the middle. Can't be brought in by Murad, and the Auburn Maroons will take over on downs right around midfield. Cooper, with under 4 minutes to go, they may be able to finish out this ball game.
And that play, a little bit of trickeration. They go with crossing routes on the outside, and that plays kind of like a toupee. You're trying to hide something. The receiver on the outside went outside, then came back in, just couldn't complete the pitch and catch.
Auburn now, you expect a steady running play diet here as they looked around the clock, and JD close out of timeouts. 1st and 10 for the Maroons on the 49-yard line of JD after they go 4 and out. Takes the snap. Cherney hands it off on the far side. Well, Bowman, he keeps him going past the 40 and finally pushed out at the 40 or the 34-yard line, pardon me. A big pickup on 1st down.
And in a time in which you're looking to ice the game, maybe put the little exclamation point at the end of it, you give it to a guy like that, and Bowman does the rest.
Bowman, an impressive run, mainly because once he hit contact, he kept going. 3:42 now. It doesn't really matter if he goes out of bounds as long as he's getting 1st downs. No complaints from the Maroon sideline. They step back in, now 1st and 10. The 33-yard line. Cherney under center. It's the I formation. Takes the toss, then hands it off to the fullback. Schoenfelder had the touchdown called back earlier, that time on the run. An impressive 1st-yard run takes it up to the 31, or close past the 30-yard line, up towards the 25.
And Eric Ormond, the head coach of JD, saw whenever that play was going to be a little bit of a misdirection counter type of play, and he was yelling to his defense, jumping up and down like he'd stepped on a Lego or something. but his defense wasn't there, and in the end, it becomes an 8-yard gain.
2nd and 2 after the big gain on first down. 3 minutes reads the clock. JD, no timeouts to stop it. Journey gonna hand it off up the middle. Schoenfelder takes it again. Far side, past the 20, past the 10, towards the pylon. Does he get it? And he's gonna be marked out at the 1. Looked like he may have stretched it, but no good. But a big run by Schoenfelder gets the first down and more, all the way up to the 1-yard line. Auburn is in business once again with the 10-point lead. Cooper, it looks like you thought that ball was in.
I certainly did, and certainly inside the 5-yard line. It looked as though he extended and got to the pylon. Instead, though, JD does just enough to keep him out of the end zone. You'd expect the ball's going to him or Boardman on this 1st and goal carry.
Journey lines up under center on the 2-yard line. Going to be play action once again. Rolls to his left and throws to the end zone. That's going to be caught. Connor Mahunick catches another touchdown. That's number 2 on the play action pass. And the referee's going to confer for a second. We'll see if this one's coming back. So these referees talking it over. He's already had one called back. As we wait for these referees to make the call, and it's going to be a penalty. Didn't see the flag fly, but the referees still weren't happy with the play.
That's the second time today we've seen an Auburn touchdown get called back as a result of a little bit of yellow laundry.
And this time to Connor Mahunick. Another touchdown pass. This one doesn't count. But how good has Troy Cherney been so far today, Cooper?
He's made the throws he's needed to make, and it hasn't been anything crazy, but he also has really just made one mistake, and that was that interception back in the first half. Past that, he's managed the game well. This Auburn offense, well, maybe doesn't get the recognition it might deserve with just Boardman getting the majority of the accolades. These guys can play.
So now 1st and goal from the 6. Cherney takes the snap, ends up getting pressure up the middle, and can't do much with it. But the clock continues to run, which for Auburn really is all you need. 2:40 to go, and even if you don't punch the ball into the end zone, should be able to bring this clock well close to the end of the game. So it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 8-yard line after the loss from Cherney. Auburn still looking to extend this lead, but content with running the clock. Now 8 seconds on the play clock. Cherney under center, motions his back into the I formation. Fakes to handoff, then gives it away. Schoenfield trying to move up the middle, not going to pick it up much. Brought down near the line of scrimmage. It will remain about 3rd and 8. About just 1:50 left now, so we're getting really close to the end of this ball game. And JD, even if they do get the ball back, not going to have a lot of time.
And this one's over. You can break out the maracas, the sombreros, whatever, however you want to celebrate for Auburn. But for JD, defensively, if you can finish this thing up with the stop, that's something to take as momentum into next week.
1:30 reads the clock, 22 still on the play clock. Troy Cherney under center. 2 backs. Takes the handoff to both. Now looking to throw. Cherney towards the end zone. Does he have a man? Yes, is the ball caught? And it's going to be incomplete. Unable to bring it in as Liam Schultz had a touchdown earlier this game. Can't bring in number 2. It looks like that ball may have been picked off. Ryan Vespi comes over to make the play.
Vespi darted in front of that pass, juggled it, somehow kept his feet in bounds, and then falls out of bounds to complete the interception.
And it fooled the best of us. It's going to be 1st and 10 for JD moving the other way. 1:14. It's a lot to ask for, but when you have a vertical offense like this, JD definitely the one of these two teams you'd like if you want to get back in the game.
Yeah, you'd expect throw deep, throw quick, and see if maybe you can pick something up if you're JD. Again, it's all about momentum going into next week. Show the offense can do a little something in its final drive.
In the shotgun is Hannes. Manda watches Murad on the near side. Hannes takes the snap, does throw to Murad. Past the 30, makes a man miss. Running vertically, horizontally across the field, makes another one. Towards the 40, and a big dig up by Patrick Murad. Makes his way out of bounds, out close to the 40. You know, when you're running a prevent defense like Auburn's going to be at this time, the biggest thing for JD is going to be managing the clock, picking up big enough chunks, just so you don't run out of time.
Because there's so many guys back deep, that also opens up that middle of the field even more. You hit guys underneath, there's room to run.
Just under 69 seconds left on the clock. Hannes in the shotgun. And it looks like it was a little bit of a jump. Patrick Murad, the man who shifted a little early, and the receiver makes a mistake after the big play. Gonna walk them back 5. Murad jumps. In this Hannes-led offense, gonna be walked back 5. It'll be 1st and 15 from the 37. Doesn't do much to change the situation for JD. They still have well over 60 yards to go now to get to the end zone, trailing by 10, 26-16, just over a minute to play. Hannes, empty back set, 4 receivers to the left. McLeod motions there. Hannes takes the snap, throws to the right, single receiver. Murad makes the catch, makes a man miss, but brought down to the 50, short of the first down. That means the clock is going to run, and with under a minute left, that's huge. JD, though, going to call their final timeout, and I think that's a smart play call, or a smart call from Eric Ormond.
So under a minute to go, you just keep moving the football. Eric Ormond and the rest of this JD team has done a good job, especially in the second half, of taking what the Auburn defense has given them. In this drive, it's been a lot of throws underneath. They just found the men that he needed to make. And the quarterback, Adam Hannes, has made the throws he's needed to make as well.
So here's the situation. Ball at midfield. It's going to be 2nd down and 2. The down and distance marker is not meaning too much. Jamesville-DeWitt trails by 10, 53.3 seconds to go. Adam Hannes has been good at quarterback so far today, and he has a number of threats to go to. Red Rams trail by 10. Still winless on the season, a year after going 5-4. JD looking to storm back in this one. Hannes, the empty backfield. 4 receivers on the near side of the field. Throws over the middle. Hun can't bring it in. Incomplete near the 40-yard line. And brings up 3rd down now.
This defense for the Auburn Maroons is kind of like an avocado. On the outside and deep, it's a hard shell, and on the inside, it's a little bit softer, more of an underbelly. They can make that throw underneath. Well, JD can have some opportunities. They just haven't been able to complete it.
About 50 seconds left on the clock, 26-16. Hannes does have a back this time, takes the snap, now looking to throw. No pressure there, but gets the ball out, caught by Han in the middle of the field near the 35-yard line. Runs about 5 seconds off the play clock. It'll be 1st down. Clock stops to move the chains, and you expect them to get the snap off pretty quickly after this ball is spotted, unless they do spike it. Hannes is under center, that likely to come. Clock starts, Hannes snaps it, about a second goes off the clock. 43.5 to be specific, but with just over 42.0 seconds left on this clock and a 10-point lead for JD, what do the Red Rams have to do if they want to extend this ball game?
They need to do exactly what they've been doing, and that in terms of the offense is managing the clock as well as they manage it. They made throws to the outside. When they made the throws over the middle, for the most part, it's been good enough for the 1st down to stop the clock.
Hannes, 2nd down after the spike. The 3 receivers to his left side, but looks to his right. Hannes throws the ball up, and it's going to be well past both the receiver and the defensive back. Looks like McLeod was there on the far side, unable to reach him.
And the philosophy there is pretty simple. We've got Caleb McLeod at 6'3", matched up against the smaller corner. Throw the ball up to the heavens, have him try to go up and get it, that time just out of his reach.
Now, 3rd and 10, 39.2, Rams trail by 10. They've marched down to the 36-yard line, but still a long way to go, even for the first score. Hannes takes the snap on 1st down. Quickly, though. Whistles go. Checking if it's a flag or a penalty, and it will be a penalty. Offside called on Auburn, and that's an unacceptable penalty if you're on the Maroon sideline. 37.8 seconds. We'll see if they reset the clock. A couple seconds did run off on that offside. Not sure if the refs caught it. Doesn't look like they will, so it will be just about 38 seconds to go.
Ball now at the 32-yard line. 3rd down and 5. Hannes, empty backfield, 3 receivers on his left. Throws middle, finds middle. Ball caught at the 20-yard line. Evan Doherty makes the play. Clock stops at the 20. Clock stops, 34 seconds. They'll move back up and once again spike the ball. So this clock will stop just over 30 seconds, 32.7, and this clock operation becomes more and more technical. Let's take a broader look at what this means for JD. Win or loss, an impressive performance, and as we look towards the next game, they head to Carthage next week. Promising signs for this Jamesville-DeWitt team.
Absolutely. You got to feel good if you're head coach Eric Orman.
And now, Red Rams quick league to go. Snap taken, Hannes throws it out to the left.
Come on, where's the flag? Freaking pull his jersey.
Beal was in coverage as that ball thrown over the head of the intended receiver.
And that's what JD needs to do. With 28 seconds, you need to score, get the onside kick, and then score again. The shots right now have to be to the end zone.
28.5 seconds. It's going to be 3rd down and 10, 35-yard line. Pardon me, the 20. 20-yard line. JD looking to make this a ball game, 10-point deficit, just under 30 seconds to go. Hannes. Single back set, 3 receivers on the left side. Murad, the one on the far, but he ends up going right, and a miscommunication there. McLeod went all the way to the end zone. Hannes was looking for the 10-yard route there in 25 seconds now. 4th down, and this is, if anything, has been 4th in ball game. We certainly know that. How do you play call here if you're looking, whether or not you're looking end zone or 1st down? Guess it doesn't matter, but the play about to come here. Just 2 receivers on both sides. Hannes throws middle, finds middle. Murad makes the big play inside the 10. And so with 23 seconds left, JD takes final timeout. We thought they'd already called their final timeout, but they just keep finding them to call. With 23 seconds left, and they'll try to find the end zone here quickly, get an onside kick. JD trying to show they're not out of this game.
So now 23.1 seconds to go. The ball's inside the 10-yard line. You got to make the throw to the end zone, try to score, and then you can deal with all the onside kick and everything like that. For JD, I think you probably look to the corner of the end zone once again, maybe Kelvin Hunt, or a couple other guys. We've seen Evan Doherty over the middle a few times on this drive as well.
Certainly an interesting situation now for JD, but promising signs overall as they're going to lose by 10 points or less here to Auburn. For Auburn, a good win likely to come, going to bring them likely over 500. And they look to continue to make noise as one of the teams to compete with here. They're down in Class A, looking to finish out this ballgame, move above 500. Hannes in the shotgun. Single back on the right, dual receivers on both sides.
Oh yeah, Dave's got 2 songs I gotta play, but I'll play that.
Hannes takes the shotgun snap, looks to his left, throws to his left to Murad. He's been good all day. Brings this one in for the touchdown. JD refusing to go away. It's Patrick Murad brings in the 12-yard touchdown grab, and the Rams are within 4.
This is where you break out the eye emoji, something like that. They're not out of this game just yet. 4-point game, 20 seconds to go.
Hannes taking the snap for the 2-point conversion, rolls to his right, throws back at the end zone. And it was broken up, so it'll be 26-22, 18.4 seconds. And now every possession seems so crucial. 3-point conversion, no good, 26-22 after a no-good 2-point conversion.
18.4 seconds left in the game.
A little confusion here as we're waiting to see if it's good or not good. We're going to say it's good. That's what they're saying in here. 26-24 at least here.
So now, the situation's pretty simple. Outside kick, if you get it, an opportunity to take a couple shots in the end zone. If you don't, well, then the ball game's over and Auburn wins it.
How good, though, for JD, whether it's this game or looking forward, Patrick Murat, the Binghamton lacrosse commit, and he's shown the athleticism today, just 150 pounds, 5'10", but that guy has such good speed and great hands as well. The most interesting part, maybe, of this JD onside kick system, Meg Shurko runs out, he puts the ball at the 40, and occasionally he goes back into the huddle and then kind of runs out and does a little fake onside kick. Hasn't actually sent it once, has tried the onside kick a couple times. We'll see what they do in the obvious onside kick scenario. 18.4 seconds to go. Every second counting, JD trails by just 2. Shurko takes a few steps towards the ball, decides not to kick it, because why not? Even 6 players to the right of the kicker, 4 to the left. We'll see if they send it to the right. Auburn, players standing up towards the ball. The onside kick attempt rolls towards the 50-yard line. And the ball just will swing out of bounds. So with 17.4 seconds left in the game, Auburn has the ball and 1 knee away from taking away the win on senior night. But it couldn't have been by a much closer margin.
What a fun game this one has been. For JD to get back into this one, there are plenty of positives to take away if you're Eric Orman. And for Auburn as well, this is a hard-fought victory. JD offensively looked really good in the second half, but at the end of the day, the Maroons do what they need to do to pick up the win.
A single snap from victory is Auburn. A big 26-4 win. They move to 3-2 on the season, while Jamesville-DeWitt falls to 0-5. But what a performance by the Red Rams! And certainly, as they finish out this season, the next couple of weeks on CMY Stream, a team to watch. Patrick Murat so good in this game, as was quarterback Adam Hannes. But at the end of the day, it is Auburn and their quarterback, Troy Cherney, who takes a final kneel. The clock goes away. The players shake hands at midfield, and we have the final from this ball game. 26-24. The clock runs out, and we thank you for joining us. Karl, Moeglein, Cooper, Boardman, it's been a fun one, but at the end of the day, the Auburn Maroons finish victorious on senior night. They defeat Jamesville-DeWitt 26-24. For Boardman, Lucas Serio, even Corey Spector, I'm Karl Moeglein saying good night. Thanks for joining us here on CMY Stream.